Good Monday morning, friends and baguettes. I don't know why baguettes, but it sounds good right now. Especially
What
if
the
I
heck?
think we got a little bit of garlic butter in the fridge.
Is that you decide what to call people you got in the fridge?
Yeah, hey, Diet Mountain Dew. How's it going, guys?
Hey.
Hey, there we
Hey,
go.
it's a Monday tired.
Well, welcome
Typical
back to Whale
Monday.
Watch, everybody. I am always your host, Nicholas, with my adjacent host, Anthony, and then kind of the guy that background hosts and sends feet pics in his spare time, Tucker
What?
down there in the bottom.
You're not supposed to tell them that?
Yeah, well, it's gonna get
Well, how are
publicized
you gonna
eventually.
make money if we don't tell them,
All of
Tucker?
that is technically Unusual Whales IP now, so we own your feet.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
excited by the
man.
prospects, though. A My Feet movie, My Feet plushies,
I'm in. I'm
My
in.
Feet animated show.
We're gonna have a couple of structure changes to the show coming in next week. We'll be starting a little bit early so we can hit some of that open interest carryover on the OI changes page. We're also gonna have some little new segments, and all of this is gonna start next Monday. We'll be starting about half an hour earlier at 9 a.m. Eastern instead of right at open. Have a little bit of pre-market breakdowns of futures movements overnight. And like I said, open interest changes. That won't be till Monday. We're all sleep deprived from the weekend, and I did not have it in me to start that shit today. So we'll have that all ready for next week. But for now, I mean, did anything cool happen over the weekend that wasn't just constant fear and warmongering that we're accustomed to? Did anything cool happen? Any gamer news? Nothing. just peachy, happy headlines all
Um,
weekend.
Dude, the weather's like insane here. Like it was like 85 yesterday, and then like it's supposed to be
Hey,
like
at least we're not
70
getting those
today.
negative 20 to 90-degree swings like the
Oh
beginning
yeah.
of March gave us. That was some
that's crazy.
bullshit. But yeah, we just got, I think we'll be in the high 70s today. A little humid, a little rainy.
Yeah, it was humid. I was like, dude, is it like July right now out there yesterday? Yeah,
It was
I'll take
sticky.
it. I'll
It was
take it.
sticky. All right, I'm going to
That
flip over
chat.
to your screen here, Anthony, and let's take a whopping 4 minutes until open to look at some open interest changes. Did we get anything that's not SPY, Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia that carried over that's interesting?
I was kind of looking at these shell contracts here. It looks like these had a couple. Oh, geez, yeah, I'm still sleeping. If you can't tell. Um, it looks like this had a couple days of open interest changes. Looks like 4/8 there. A lot of that carried over, and then from Friday into today. So possible little position builder there. Looks like oil's up pre-market right now. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, kind of messy, a messier ad there. I mean, because you have some mid-side fills there, some bid-side fills, but that Friday ad looked pretty good there, and it looks like because that original looks like they opened about the 133s or so, mid 130s, and they actually, this whale, pretty much the same. I was gonna say they added up a little bit when those contracts were up, but no, pretty much the same. So this whale, I would assume that both of these are potentially related here, but if they're not, I mean, both will be happy and open today. Uh, let's see, what else do we got here?
Snorlax had caught a pretty interesting position in BURL that saw full carryover as well. That
I'm
could be
guessing it's the
worth like
bid side puts.
yes, sir. The 270p for May.
All right, I probably don't have it. I gotta mess with my filters a little bit. Mine are a little more restrictive on the open interest. Let me pull up his contract. Though, what was it? The
It was the
Burl.
BURL 270p for May 29th. We got 2 minutes to open, but I'm not going to have a trade on right at open. Pre-market wise, though, I mean, NQ's giving a
Oh
little bit
yeah.
of juice to the upside here. This 25,220 before we get to that Burl contract real quick. This has been not quite a line in the sand, but loss of it and reclaim of it have given us some pretty good moves. You can even see in the pre-market / overnight session here. They tried the wick above it, couldn't quite hold on to it. Now they're above that 180, pushing to my 220 level. So I'm curious to see what they do there. But for the most part, I'm going to sit on my hands right at open. I expect some spicy wiggle. But this burl position.
Yeah, this one, like you said, or well, Snorlax technically said,
Oh yeah, I
all
stole
that
that
carried
shit.
over. I mean, absolutely, just one contract not carrying over in there. So
They're like, you know
that's
what? I don't need that one. That one's just greedy, and they cut that one
yeah.
out.
Just I always find that funny when there's something like that. But yeah, I mean the flow looks good there. I mean, very wide bid ask spread on that, but filling closer to the bid there. You get your IV decrease. It's a low historic volume floor. We know how that Burleton put seller typically does. I don't know if he has it pinned to his highlights, but I know he tracks those short burl puts all the time, and
Yeah,
I
Snorlax
think
is really a sniper on contract rights. Like I see even calls when he posts some call seller. I see that shit go to zero so often. And
I
it just
I
people talk and joke all the time that Theta Gang wins, and it kind of tends to, man.
it does. It's a very I personally think it's easier to find contracts that are written calls or puts. I mean, you just kind of pay attention to that out of the money percent and just understand basic theta on the contracts. It's Theta Gang is a very, very interesting group of people to follow because I think it's like 80% of options expire out of the money. So, as long as those contracts are out of the money, that whale's typically happy. But, ooh,
There's
I
our
gotta get some refresher going on here.
pre-market open here. Wiggle. They blitzed above 25,220 on the NASDAQ, the level that I was watching. I want to see what kind of reaction we get here. I'm also going to give the Gamma Exposure Tool Periscope just a minute to settle, and we'll see how market makers are positioned at open here. Till then, still hands off. I got to see how they react at this level. If they hold it as support, turn it back into resistance, and give me a nice little range trade here. Otherwise, I'm going to sit right on my hands with my fat ass and not put anything on right out of the gate here.
Proof of that?
Everything kind
Send
of.
pics?
Proof?
Proof?
Link? And as always, everybody, as you kind of filter in here, I know a couple of you will be coming in from the tweet as we go along. Feel free to make any flow requests you want. If you saw something on Friday you thought was interesting, let us know. We'll take a look at that. If you see anything coming in right out of the gate this morning, let us know. We'll take a look at that too. Right now, Periscope-wise, I'm on all. I'm going to switch to 0 day for the open, and it kind of looks more or less the same at open, but we are sitting right in a heavy positive gamma zone with negative below and heavier positive above. This is a kind of positioning in the morning where I almost expect a range between the two, but with how heavy that negative gamma below us is, I think it'd be kind of dope if we ran through it. But with how heavy we're positioned up at 6850 on all, what are we looking at on 0 day? 0 day, that heaviest part is 6815 right above us, about 15 points up from where we are right now. I'm not married to a direction yet. I'm going to see how they react to this positive gamma range. If they can conquer this and turn 6815 into support, I think they've got a pretty good argument for some steep upside. But down below us, way down there, 6740, we've got a little bit of positive that's fallen off, and nothing but negative gamma pretty much between here and there. So we'll see if buyers can keep it above that. Otherwise, they might get some spice and make those who are short-brained like me happy. Right now, from the NASDAQ point of view, they did not hold 220 whatsoever. I want to see them bounce up and test it from below again. Otherwise, it's just chasing for me. But if they give me a bounce and a rejection of 220 without that market maker exposure really changing all that much, I'm probably going to jump into it and target 180. But if they just go without me, that's okay. Hands off until I get...
Yeah, a lot of negative gamma down there. Ooh, imagine it. Ooh, that could be a violent move there.
It could. 6790 is kind of their bastion of hope.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Give it. I always like letting it get a couple updates, especially on a Monday morning. All right. Let's see. Do I got anything on my filters?
I had to showcase Tucker. It looks like he's playing a Game Boy or something.
He's still sleeping.
No, I got
He's
it.
still sleeping.
No, man. I got an important email. Ugh.
Get your walking papers in the email, I bet.
The
Maybe.
milkman cometh. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. They're still kind of struggling to get above that positive gamma range. They're struggling a little bit. Keeping an eye on the NASDAQ. They're still just towing the line of that 220 spot. I'm going to take a small short with a very tight stop because like we were just talking about, there's still that argument to the upside positive gamma. If they take me out right here, that's perfectly fine. I'll look for a re-entry. They did, lost about 40 bucks there. But we're going to keep an eye on the same level. If they really slingshot off of this, that's their prerogative. I won't be in it.
You are getting some good put volume picking up here on just the SPY premiums and some good negative volume. How's our market tide looking? Hey, puts are
I'm going for
trying on
that
market tide.
same position. This time I'm just doing the high of the open here. That'll be about... sucks to suck. It'll be about an 80 buck loss. That's 20 points on 2 MNQ contracts. Nothing extravagant, but if I get my move down below 200s here, I'll be a happy camper. All right, here we go. We're getting a little wiggle there. If they bounce this too hard on these moving averages for me, I'll probably take it off and not risk that full stop out. But I'll keep you posted here. My target's still that 180. I don't know if they're going to give it to me without some kind of structure change. But let's give this a little breathing room here.
And we could have some headline risk coming up here in the next half hour. I
Dude,
know there were
just...
reports
Yeah,
that
we got data drop this morning, right?
nope, no data.
No data?
No, they.
We got bank
existing
earnings
home
tomorrow
sales,
morning.
But oh god, we had Goldman Sachs this morning too. I don't
All right,
like.
I'm watching their
earnings season
reaction
because
here. I need them to take out this candle. If they don't, I'm just going to flatten it. I'll take... That's basically a 1-to-1 if they bounce me out of this. 1-to-1 risk to reward, that is. 20 point stop, 20 point target. Let's see what this 1 minute candle closes on. I'm gonna take it if this goes back green. I don't want to risk all that drawdown when I'm already winning. No reason to. 180 would still be my full target, but they have to invalidate this little W they're forming. There we go. They just did that for me. We are in close enough territory to take this off. Let's see what these next few seconds do for those 30-second scalpers out there. Oh, thing of beauty. I'm taking it there. There we go.
there you go.
Right out the gate.
Nice
They're going
job.
right to my 180, but 5 points off. It's close enough. Let me turn on that execution mark. You guys will see that first stop out we took, as well as that little short scalp there. We can look at Periscope again if you want, just to kind of look through why I was down with the short there. But here is our first one. You can see the double tap. We got stopped out. And then I entered on the same damn candle. The setup was the same one. They failed to hold on to that 220 mark that I have drawn in. They couldn't hang on to that. And like I said, that's kind of a springboard to the upside when they hold it. Kind of a strong rejection point on my chart for my scalping here if they reject it. And they did. And we got pretty damn close to that whole move. We got out at about 185 on it. My full target was 180. They wicked below it, bounced. They could give us another opportunity here, but honestly, I'm going to give it a little breathing room before I just jump into another one. No reason to start overtrading like crazy, but we got about 20, 35 points on that. And that's nothing to scoff at, homies. Nice, quick little, basically 30-second scalp.
7 minutes into the day too.
Yeah,
Nice
I'm not
and
mad.
early.
They're still, dude, look at the negative gamma still building below, like right below us.
Yeah, that's
Buyers need to keep SPX above 67.90. The 67.40 below us has fallen off. We're building back up a bit at 68.15. That's part of the reason I didn't want to just launch into another trade. We can form a nice wide range basically from here all the way back up to 68.15. I just want to keep an eye on the price action to see where they take it in the short term. Because like I said, we still have heavy negative right below us, 67.80 all the way down to 67.45. Nothing but a wide ass negative gamma zone. If sellers get really aggressive, this area can get dicey as hell for longs. But notably, the 67.40 is falling off just a tiny bit while we're still building up positive gamma above us. So I'm not going to get married to a breakdown yet. We'll keep an eye on this. Net put premiums tapering a little, but nothing dramatic. But in all honesty, guys, at the beginning of the day like this, net premiums aren't going to be very dramatic to begin with unless something crazy hits the tape right away. Not a whole lot of volume yet. We got a big spike in net call premium. Oh, I got coffee hiccups.
Yeah, that headline risk too. There was news
Did we
over
get a
the
nice
weekend
Trump
about
tweet yeet?
them. Well, they're supposed to be starting a blockade at the Strait of Hormuz.
Dope.
At, I think they said
Dope.
10 Eastern today. So
Keep
I mean,
an eye on oil
that,
if you're intraday scalping,
yes.
y'all. There tends to be, though not a guarantee, an inverse move relationship between oil and equities. Little bit more dramatic in the Dow and the Nasdaq than the SPX, but still, or sorry, than the S&P, but still keep it in mind. We very much live in a headline risk market, as I'm sure you've all noted. All right, I'm taking another short stab at it. I'll give back about $50 if this reclaims that range. I'm going to let this breathe for a second. Just another quick tidbit disclaimer. Do not shadow trade, especially the scalping. There is a time delay between when I say something and you hear it. So I might already be stopped out of a trade before you even enter if you're trying to shadow trade. Please don't. It'll get messy and dangerous. We're showing how I'm doing it and why. It's just this price action on the NASDAQ using SPX, market maker gamma exposure levels for context and confluence. That's about it. I'm pretty easy. I don't like thinking too much. Hurts my head.
Especially on a Monday. Especially on a Monday morning, man.
All right, I'm actually going to drop my stop down to this last 1 minute instead of the top of that range. I don't want to sit through a full stop out. I would rather them just continue right here, right now. If they don't, I will take my like $50 loss and move on because this can make that same W pattern I talked about over here just lower. I would like this really long wick on the 1 minute to become this wick on the 1 minute. I want that to be a next stair step down. If they invalidate that, oh well, I'll probably get a re-entry eventually. NASDAQ likes to give you several tries. That's why I like taking paper cut losses and adding into wider moves once I get my move. Let's see what they do here. Nice little morning scalp. If they stop me out here, I'll take like 5-10 minutes off of scalping. We'll do some pretty good flow reading and then come back to see what structure's like in a bit.
Only pretty good?
Only pretty good.
Up your game,
man.
Come
Very, really good with our boy, oh God, oh no, Curtis Connor. He's a funny guy.
Man, yeah, I'm looking at Periscope right now. You got them building up a little bit.
They are. We had a nice little flip here. 6,800 evens has a nice pop, as did 6,815 again. But look at this negative gamma below us, man. It's still building.
Yeah.
I'm going to let this ride to a stop out. They might give that W right off of this candle. But like I said, I will give it back. There we go. They stop me out. That is fine. We'll take a breather here. Not a bad morning so far. They are giving good price action if you're a range trader this morning. Right back to the top of that range again.
Yeah, I'm not wondering if the market's just waiting on anything at 10
It
Eastern
does. It does tend to feel
develop.
Tentative. Like we're not getting full follow through to either direction currently. Look at that top wick. They might have just done a little stop run there. If this becomes the rejection, I'm not going to chase into it this time. That's going to make my risk to the upside, the stop a little wider than I'm comfortable with for the reward down below. But we'll see what they do here and give it a little breathing room. We are still up about $100 on the morning after that stop out.
That volume the last 2 days too was absolutely abysmal.
Volume all last week was bad.
Yep.
And then the Monday before last, holy shit, dude. There was no trading happening at all.
Yeah.
All right, folks,
Yeah,
as
that
always,
was-
I know we got some new people trickling in. If you have any flow requests, any tickers or contracts you saw that you want broken down, pop them in. We're going to take a little breather from scalping after that last stop out, but we're still up about 100 on the morning, vibing, chilling, feeling good. Well, let's start looking at some flow. Let's see what we got coming in about 15 minutes after the open. It gets a little spicy about an hour in and then slows down again around lunchtime. It tends to. But I'm sure we can find something worth talking about. I
I've
hope.
got some
Otherwise, people are
stuff
going to get
hitting my
bored. They're going to leave, and I'm going to lose my job. And then Tucker will take it, and then it's going to be awkward.
All right.
Oh God.
Dong Zero in the X chat says snow.
Snow? We can look at
What?
snow.
Oh, that's a ticker.
SNOW?
It's Snowflake, sir.
Unless he said slow. If there's a ticker
No, it
slow.
says snow. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
maybe they were just talking about
Oh, they wanted some
snow.
morning nose candy.
They were talking
Or
about you,
that.
Tucker. Yeah, they were talking about you. Yeah, let's say we can do just kind of a blanket request there, Tucker, not a specific contract.
Yeah.
Literally just the word.
Okay.
Literally just the word
Okay.
snow.
Okay.
Which again,
Okay.
the reason why I
Real,
didn't
real quick
look that
before
up as a
snow,
ticker, I didn't know it was a ticker.
I just want to complain quick. That was exactly that. That was a beautiful little stop run that kicked me in the wiener, and then straight down to my target again we go. All right. I'll let you know if I get a new entry, but probably after the trade, so I don't interrupt snow. But let's take a quick little raw dive.
Quickly,
on
actually,
snow.
we got someone from Make Sense in the X chat who asks, "What are you guys using for trading here?"
Oh, this is unusual whales, my friend. The little green bars that you saw there is Periscope that tracks confirmed market maker positioning. Gamma exposure here. Tucker can probably dig up the 8-minute long Periscope video to give kind of a general summary of it and the theories behind how you trade it. I say theory. It's more than, I think it's more than theory. Pretty tradable. They cleanly rejected that attempt at 6,800, Anthony. They are gonna run this without me, I think. I'm not gonna be able to chase into this. New low of day, SPX,
Dang.
and the Nazi without your boy. Look at him go. All right, let's look at snow. Otherwise, I'm gonna piss and moan that I got stopped out of that beautiful day.
Well, we'll wait for another one. I'm sure you'll get another chance.
I'm sure.
So I'm just typically what I'll do this early in the morning to obviously we're 15 minutes into the day. I kind of just like looking at the highest volume contracts come in. So kind of right away here, I am seeing kind of maybe something that could be potentially related. We'll check it and see if it's actually marked as a multi-leg, but just kind of very similar sizing, similar expiration, but we'll see if it's related. So it's not saying it's related here, so we don't get a clean read on that one, but let's just kind of look at the contract here and see what we got. And if there's something specific I like, I'm gonna make Tucker write it down so we can go back and revisit it.
Yeah, we gotta lock in on that for sure.
So
Just let me know when you want me to take notes.
I will do that for you, sir.
Great.
I can do
Really
that for
appreciate
you.
it.
So snow here, I don't like how that IV drops when it comes in. So it's a repeat hits ascending fill here. So it's starting out at the bid here and a little wider bid ask spread. So then you get a kind of one of those goofy mid fills there. Let's just kind of follow this up. These, I'm gonna say these probably look like short calls here. Possibly, I'm just kind of looking through here so that IV comes back up. So it is an ascending fill though. Oh, and it does kind of ascend here towards the end. Yeah. So again, that's why you look through it. I mean, at first I was like, okay, it could be short calls. I would probably lean these are short calls, so they're just kind of all over the place in here. I mean, you do have that ascending fill here. One of those kind of coin flip pieces of flow, I'd say more so, but I do like how that IV is kind of dropping here a little bit. Again, timing's not all 100% the same here towards the end of the ask side alerts there. It's a second later in there, just only on the 3 contracts there, it looks like. Yeah, I kind of a muddier tape here. If you made me guess, probably short those calls. I want to look at those
Ooh,
puts
what was
as
that?
well there.
What a pop we just saw. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
Oh no, you're good.
Really big
good.
top wick on the 1 minute.
I'm
Look
just
at that
looking
pop.
through these. I'm not. Oh,
In
and you got
about a
this like.
second, it jumped 40 points and then rejected again.
Jeez, it's gonna be one
Always
of
keep an
those
eye on
days, isn't
headlines
it?
with all this shit, folks, because one little Trump tweet yeet can absolutely blow a portfolio open. Whoa, we are pumping. Tucker, can you do a quick sweep for major headlines?
Sure, we'll do.
We hit 159.50 ish, 160 basically to the tick, and we are now up almost 80 points from there. I warrant we got a tweet of
Something. I don't see anything on my end yet. Nothing on my end.
Well, we are now
These.
break even on the morning because I was involved in that run, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, we are
That
juicing.
sucks.
What happened? I'm gonna start googling shit. We are pamping.
I don't see anything. Nothing hit my feed yet.
That was right at the bottom of the positive Gex range too.
Is it Roblox Corporation will introduce new age-based accounts for young users?
I really don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think it's that one.
Yeah, maybe not. But we are,
pretty...
dude, we're pumping right up. We are almost at 68.15 already. That heavy positive gamma we talked about right out of the open. We're pumping.
Jeez.
What a juicer. Man, I should have just flipped the position there, huh? Should have just flipped it. What a pamp. All right, we can look at snow. I'm going to see if I can find out what the fuck that was about.
Yeah, these snows again too. So these are those puts at the bid side that came in here.
Yeah, I'm not
See how
finding
these
anything.
look.
Me neither. We're just
Yeah, I didn't
pumping,
see
dude.
anything either. So, yeah, another one, just kind of some messy feeds here. I mean, IV's kind of all over the place. Spots filling, bid, mostly at the bid. Some ask side hits in there.
Hey, Chad, if you guys are seeing anything for Newswise, just let us know.
Yeah, no shit. We are up
and
150 points from the bottom on NQ.
We did get a question from Patrick Dolan who asked, "What are the advantages of Unusual Whales over all the other software like TradeStation, time and sales filtered for large positions?"
It kind of comes down to
Nick, you wanna
personal
do that one?
preference. With the Unusual Whales, the filtering, especially for me, I use interval flow filters for the most part. With my flow surfing, almost specifically, we did just reject 68.15 right to it. By the way, with scalping, I just straight up use this gamma exposure tool, Periscope. This is confirmed market maker positioning. I tend to use the green, which is positive gamma, as kind of targets, support, resistance, reclaim levels. And then I use the red for potential acceleration. But I also use it for targets because just like we saw this morning, if they can't really push into that negative gamma zone, you're not going to see that acceleration you want. You'd look at that clean rejection. Why do we always get the most beautiful rejections when we talk about?
maybe you should talk more.
Yeah. So you can
Talk less.
But no, just finding what I deem to be unusual options activity, and that kind of comes down to personal preference as well. I like seeing large series of orders rather than just one massive order all at once. I like seeing confluence, more context, and my interval flow filter, it's not too terribly stringent, so it still requires a lot of legwork. But this is essentially what I use to trade flow, just this one interval flow filter. Anthony has a lot more watch list / filters than I do, and then Jay-Z has like double that. It comes down to what you look for and what you like. I spend most of my time looking at gamma exposure, which I think we have some updates to in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. I am chomping at the bit for it. Or champing.
And
it's
to
technically
kinda
champing. Did
expand
you
up-
guys know that saying? It's technically champing
Really?
at the bit. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
I'm never going to say
And
that,
to kind
but
of
that's what
expand
it
on
is.
that too, like the time and sales stuff, like you can't actually like analyze the like flow there. Like you can at least like dig into the contracts here. Like there's different things that go into the contracts that can kind of hint if there being a buy or a sell possibly. Again, doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to 100% work all the time. It's not a lottery machine, not a casino machine. But you can do your due diligence instead of just kind of looking at just a number that hits in your broker on the time and sales stuff. And you can kind of see what other flows coming in on different names and all that too. It's worth it. It's worth it. And like I know if when you sign up, like there's a lot of stuff there. You don't need every single thing in there. Like I usually just tell people start out with the basic filtering and just kind of start doing some flow reads, watch some good videos from people who have actually like who do it like Snorlax's streams and Unusual Whales really good in here with us. I mean, there's a lot of just good education, asking questions too. I mean, in the Discord, in the Unusual Whales Discord, like ask questions. I mean, there's everybody's in there to learn, and everybody has the same goal to make money. So I mean, there's beginners to advanced people in there. I mean, it's all different levels. I mean, a great resource, especially if you're trying to learn the stuff in there.
What if my goal is for Anthony to lose money?
That's my goal.
I probably would not shadow what I'm doing then if you want to lose money. Let me go back to those snow. Yeah, so those snow puts there too. Yeah, it's snow, and then we talk about Unusual Whales just all over the place on here. It's
we missed
fun.
A massive short.
Again, jeez.
Yeah. I was watching that 292 level I have on NASDAQ. They rejected it on that pump. They're working their way back up toward it now, but they gave a spicy 60-point drop off of that, and we missed it. But that's all right. We're hanging out.
Of course. And those snow puts too. This one's a little bigger multi-leg. There you got 28%, and this is a multi-leg involving shares. When you see those kind of like two little arrow recycling type symbol things, whatever you want to call them.
The refresh.
That's you click it. Yes, there you go. So so this one, it's a possibly related multi-leg trade involving shares. When you see that little thingy there, that typically means there's shares involved there. So I stay away from the multi-leg stuff, especially the stuff with shares. Just absolutely not touching something like that.
6815 SPX is really building up that positive. Might hang out in this area. If we set in that 60-point, now 70-point range between that 290 area and the 220 area on the NASDAQ, if you're a range trader, keep an eye on those two, because that could be some spice. I am currently short small, and I'm trailing directly to the 1 minute already, because I don't want to get blown out if they pump right back. We're hanging out, keeping it chill and keeping stops tight. Dude, that was a hell of a pump from the low of 160, 25,159 on the NASDAQ. It ripped way above 290 for a second. Almost hit 300 evens. What a pamp! What a move! If you guys out there caught that long, congratulations and fuck you.
Jeez. Oil's pulling back a little bit. At least oil names. I haven't actually looked at crude there. I want to see. I found these XOM calls on Friday. I don't know how they did today. They should have had a little pop. I mean, opened at 420. They hit 511, 521 today. Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, my filters, I mean, pretty dry there. Some long poet calls, 10, 16, 8 calls. I'm not a fan of trading names that are under $10. They're just so slow. I mean, I know there's people out there that like those. But yeah, yeah.
He likes those like $1 stocks though.
Yeah,
my take on like super penny stocks, like $2 and below. If you're gonna play options on something like that, I would rather just play shares because the risk is less, like a less chance of going to zero. Plus, if you're paying $50 per contract anyway, why don't you just get 50 shares type shit?
Exactly.
The profit potential's lower, but so is the loss potential by a lot.
Or you just find quality names that you don't have to do stuff like that with. These poets could be interesting though. At possible position builder coming in here, maybe seeing different bunch of assets.
We saw some spice on poet in the past too, on past episodes. To the upside, is it still call flow? Oh my god.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's just kind of
nothing but.
So this one okay, our timing, let's just kind of get that timing down here. So about 8:47 Central Standard Time. So about a 9-minute kind of period between all the flow coming in here. So let's just kind of take a peek, and you can see within here too that price of poets going up too as this flow is coming in. So we'll keep that in mind, but looks like this is when our flow starts in here. You're getting that 88.51, little IV rise here, again 6 seconds later. Poet drops a little bit here. So that's something that kind of catches my eye when that IV is rising and then the stock price is falling a little bit. That's something that catches my eye versus the opposite where we've ran into that price rising and that IV dropping. So that's something that catches my eye there. And you're seeing that IV increase on the way up here. Spot's still filling with the ask. Little IV drop here when we get to that 853. So again, keep in mind this is a different time section now. So we don't fully know if it's related to it, but let me clean up some of these stupid tabs here.
We're about to run the highs across the board, it looks like.
I would probably assume it's related. I mean, we only had 1,900 open contracts at the time. You're getting 4,000 coming in. The likelihood that it's related, probably, I'd say like 90%. I could tell you that. And just kind of the way that it's coming in at the ask, and it looks like it's a position build. Poet's up almost 8% on the day.
Oops. New highs, everything.
Patrick Dolan mentions CRWV and TTD. Either of those things you guys checked out this morning so far?
We had a little bit of CoreWeave flow on Wednesday too, I believe. Just a little bit. Nothing
just checking in, Anthony, was there something I was supposed to write down?
No, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. If it's something like super textbook that I like, I'll let you know. Nope, you're good. You're good.
Poet was nice, but Poet's been kind of noisy for a couple weeks too.
Yeah, and I don't like chasing something that's 186 days out when you're already up 8%
you're more
on
like,
the day too.
You like weeklies and monthlies more.
It's yeah, and then I mean, if you were to hold this for that long, you're gonna sit through probably 3 or 4 earnings periods. I'm not big on swinging over earnings. The complete opposite of JC. I know his are just kind of lotto earnings though, but
he's damn good at it though. I gotta say. His winners definitely pay for the higher percentage loot, for damn sure.
Yeah.
All right, I want to see if we get a nice pullback off of this. I'm not gonna hold my breath for it though. We have juiced the positive gamma zone. We are at the top of it basically. We got 68.30 building up above us.
Jeez. Yeah, look at those poets already popping there a little bit.
I did short that high. I am out already for a measly 15 points. Now's not the time to sit in a short. You gotta let him give a reversal before you chase this. But that was a good spot for it. Like I said, I'm already out. I just took 15 points, chip away at that moonshot that stopped us out of our last short.
Tucker, what were the 2 names that were asked in the chat?
CRWV and TTD.
Good old CoreWeave.
So CoreWeave's up.
It's juiced.
Almost 8.5% today. Let's just kind of look. It's going to be a lot of weekly contracts on this one here. We can try to filter it down a little bit here. Let's just do this. So like if I don't have like a specific like contract, I'm just kind of doing a blanket overview. And we're we're about a half hour in, so probably getting a little more flow than just the highest volume contracts. And usually those names, CoreWeave, NVIDIA, Tesla, you're going to get a lot of 0 DTEs or kind of those little midweek expirations on there because there's a lot of traders on there. So those are the ones that I'll kind of filter down a little bit here to try to weed out the bad flow. So let's just kind of go in here. And I changed these. It's completely different. I'm just trying to kind of come down here and find something good. So I don't like super deep in the money. I don't want big multi-leg. So, okay, let's just see if we can find anything out of this. So it's still getting kind of a lot of flow here. So I just want to filter this up a teeny bit. Go to 50%. So, okay, we'll see what we got. So I'm just kind of doing a face value look here. And a lot of weekly calls coming in here. Again, kind of like I was talking about the highest volume contracts. You're going to see a lot of weeklies on those kind of higher traded more liquid names, and yeah, they are just slamming the calls here on the weeklies here, and then you have kind of a 618, it looks like, a 424, 529, and some 424s. Yeah, I would just say, looking at this face value wise, core reflow is bullish here, and I'm gonna assume Nick will probably agree with me on that without
I
diving
got no
into
arguments. Yeah.
yeah, without diving into each and every single
And
contract
if you
and reading
notice,
it.
the only real transactions happening at the bid are puts. We've
Yep.
got a lot of ask side calls, a lot of bid side puts. Momentum is on its side from the buyers. I'm not seeing anything bearish about this. I don't even see any counter trend flow.
No, nope, not
Ain't
yet.
nobody stepping in front of that train quite yet.
No. So yeah, just kind of a face value overview look there without clicking into every single little contract, because I'm sure a lot of these have already popped, or you're not going to find anything super opening flow. Yeah, I'm just.
It's 68.60. Look at all of this positive gamma building where we are now. They when we started the show, if you were here at the top, 68.15 was the largest positive gamma position we had. And I was saying, even though we had really heavy negative below us, watching that build up throughout the morning gave me pause on sitting in shorts for too long. 68.15 is falling off a little, but everything else above it is building. We have that 68.25 that's gone negative now, which to me, given we've got now a pretty strong bullish trend starting to the upside, I think that's going to give them their stab at that 68.30. But what's interesting is how heavily they positioned into 68.60. That would be a juicer of a move. That'd be spicy as fuck. If we get way up there, dude, I'm going to short it. Way up there.
So a couple headlines coming here in the last 5 minutes too. The U.S. military has officially begun its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, and then we had one just a minute. We just had one a minute ago. Iranian officials are studying abandoning. Oh, come on. Why did I click that? Uranium enrichment as a U.S. condition for ending the war. So that could be your pop.
Crude is not looking happy with any of that. But you would think the blockade would send oil higher, but crude is flirting with losing 100. Light crude futures here on my screen. I don't have the balls to trade futures on oil. The per tick value is more than my little baby account is comfortable with. But it's not looking the best. If it can't double you up basically from here and oil loses 100, I think equities are gonna juice toward those upside targets. I'll keep that just tiny on the side there. I'm gonna keep my NASDAQ chart open.
Your overall market tide is screaming juice right now. I mean, put premiums heavily dropped off there. Mm-hmm. Call premiums are trying to kind of pop out of the money just slightly, ask side, but that volume is one thing I'm really looking at.
Pretty much all of that positive gamma positioning we looked at below, like that one way down at 67.20, 67.40, all of them are falling off. They're moving these positions higher. There's no bearishness for me quite yet now. Pretty much after that first short of the morning we took, there hasn't been a really clean short structure since the 68.15 rejection earlier. All signs are still pointing up for me. We have a little bit of net call premium falling off, but I'm not too worried about that right now. Buyers are very much in control right now. If they make this new high and push through 68.25, I usually would want to try to short this range, but it's building up above us so much that I would wait personally for an actual reversal to catch a piece of it rather than try to top tick it. Buyers are in control for now.
We actually did have a specific flow call come in from Griftlord on the YouTube chat, who asked about the INTC 70 call for April 17th. I sent the link to you guys. And that actually goes along with a comment we got on the Twitter chat as well from Jose Ortega, who asked if there's any action in INTC this week. So that's two birds with one stone.
There you have it. Let's take a peek.
We could take a peek. And that other one was TTD at first, right? Tucker?
Yeah, correct. TTD. Yes, correct.
Before the okay. So I did pull up the correct one. So this one, not obviously a big, mega cap traded name like our other ones. But so this one I'll kind of look at that highest volume contract here. Again, another one where you're just kind of seeing a lot of that ask side flow coming in there on the weekly calls there. That 417.21 and a half call and the 417.21 call getting your biggest volume here on the day. Everything else kind of below that 250 mark right now. And I mean, these are already kind of moved a little bit too. I'm just doing a phase, and yeah, typically with like the blanket request, unless you have like something specific you want me to look at, it's just gonna kind of be a face value overview there. So just kind of take that with a grain of salt. I'm not diving into the flow and actually doing a specific read on each piece of flow, just kind of a face value look. So if you have a specific contract you want me to look at, feel free to do that. But yeah, the blanket reads on some of the stuff can be there's just a lot on some of the stuff, but yeah, I mean, TTD here again, another one. A lot of that ask side. Oh, why am I? Yeah, a lot of that ask side here on the weekly calls there. I'm not really seeing a lot of put action, just maybe some small put action, but those look like they are 27% out of the money. I would not touch something like that. That's more than likely probably a short put there. I mean, they're filling it up 1 cent contract. The odds of that contract producing like significant profits probably not good. So I would not touch on something like that. But yeah, TTD looking pretty bullish there. So let's pull up that other one that Tucker sent us. The Intel 417 4 call, or 70 call, 4 call, jeez. So this one, so we have a lot of, yeah, one of those Pelosi plays, 80% of the money.
All those $100 calls that became $1 calls or some shit when they did the split.
Yeah, that was insane. Yeah, so these Intel calls. So I do want to kind of take a look back at these. So we have 18,000 contracts traded today, but we do have 31,000 open contracts that came into today. So let's kind of look in here, and I'm not really seeing anything super. Jeez. I wonder, was this one of the ones that was maybe a short? Because look, I feel like I remember seeing something like this. Obviously,
I feel like I remember that contract itself.
But yeah, because we saw the 30,000.
We really should have been keeping track of contracts a lot better from the beginning, but we're doing it now. Better late than never.
Yeah, interesting contracts. Not every single contract.
Oil is struggling to get away from those lows.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at this. I just don't like all the previous volume on this. I mean, a little muddy here. Just there's so many contracts changing hands on this. I feel like, did I have anything Intel hit my filter though today? I did have a long dated Intel call hit here, the 9/18/95 call. So like here, this is kind of a good example of finding that opening flow versus the muddier flow that we were just looking at. So again, very long dated, kind of far out of the money, 49%. Again, you would have to sit through a couple earnings set periods there. I'm not a fan of that. Let's just see how this flow looks here. So this is our first trade on the day here. Opening trade, 653 contracts here. We had no volume before that. This name had no open interest on it at all. So I would like to say that at least at 843.48, these two sections here probably related here. Now again, it doesn't mean the flow's bad or anything, but I don't have any context before that flow because this is that first piece of or the first volume coming in on this specific contract here. I would likely lean there, probably buy to open, but that's just me making a guess there. But typically, for me to really like something like this, I'd like to see that flow before it because I want to see what that big size premium and what that spot's filling at compared to some of that earlier flow there. But this one, we don't have it. I would probably lean buy to open on these, though, if you made me pick. Call premiums are kind of dropping a little bit here. Anything else interesting on Intel here? Let's see. Yeah, just all 4-day out stuff. However, premiums kind of looked. Yeah, I mean, Intel's kind of already made its move. It almost looks like a lot of that call premium, and you just see Intel run up after that. And we are kind of seeing a little exiting here, so I would be cautious on something like these ones here. Again, a lot of time on those. They could be expecting good earnings for a couple quarters. You just don't know. It's one of those things where if I don't have that perfect textbook setup, I'm not going to touch it there. I would probably lean buy to open. They're all coming in at the ask. It is that block trade stuff just kind of, if there's flow in front of it, I like that multiple context in the flow. But I would probably lean buy to open, but I wouldn't trade this myself. I wouldn't take this flow. If that makes sense.
Made sense to me.
And then those short-term Intel puts here, these are kind of running. Here how'd they look when they came in. Let's see, so we're going to have one of those odd ones where it's a bunch of different timings in here, it looks like. So 8:36:01, yeah. Yeah, I mean, your IV kind of drops when at least that kind of bigger chunk of that flow comes in there. Yeah, I mean, they came in 6 minutes after open too when Intel's pumping. So, I kind of take that early flow with a grain of salt. I mean, they are up now, though.
Got oil and NQ pulling back at the same time, which is interesting. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on that.
When you guys are looking for the next piece of flow to look at, we got a request from M Christopher 1111 on the YouTube chat who asks about WDC 330 puts for April 17th.
Yeah, let's see. I've got those up right here, actually.
I am short the micro NASDAQ. I'm about to. I added into the move. I just trimmed half of it off now. I'm just showing the structure I'm looking at. We started forming another tiny range here. Oil's making a comeback. That is why I added into the move this time. The risk to reward's there. Not moving my stop now because I trimmed down to half size. My target is right below this candle, basically. I'm looking at 250 area for support. But we'll keep an eye on this. If oil keeps juicing up, I'll probably leave this on for a minute. I want to see what we get update-wise in gamma exposure before I get too cocky. But all right, let's do some more flow diving. I want to ramp up how many flow reads we do. So I'll keep, we'll try to segment it out. It is kind of hard to segment scalping into a show structure because it's just kind of always. And you don't really know when you're going to get the move you're looking for, even if the structure's perfect and clean. But we'll try to do more flow reads in general for the show.
And request help and you can always just pop the request and I can start digging through it while Nick's going through scalps too. I mean, that's not a problem at all. But yeah. The more requests, the better for flow. But yeah, these WDCs, the 334.17 puts here. Only 37 contracts traded on the day here, so I'm not really seeing anything here. I see it does have some prior open interest, though, so let's just kind of face value look here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much in here. So again, here's today the 230 some contracts 37 contracts. So that 37, very, very small number, and you see all these other big spikes in here. This is too muddy to know if this is like one person or somebody maybe adding contracts, selling contracts. There's just not a big singular whale in here. The one thing, I was actually looking at WDC over the weekend.
Hold that thought. I added back into that position, trailing to the 1 minute candle. They are pretty much at my target, so I'm going to flatten it, but oh, honey buns. I don't have any other expletives to say that aren't a bunch of swear words. But that's a good scalp. I'm taking that off. We will take our $120 on that. Same reasoning. I didn't want to stay in it too much because that W pattern always gives me pause. I like to trade the opposite of that, the M shape, as it forms a range above where we are and then sets up a new stair step down. I don't think we're going to get that today. My bias is still kind of long. But oil is trying to recover. And that's what I'm keeping an eye on here. Because like I said, there tends to be an inverse relationship between equities and oil. Not perfect, but it does tend to be there. It's worth keeping in the back of your mind. So I like to keep that chart open. I'll let you know if we do more. But hey, we are 3 for 5 and in profit for the morning. Not a bad little session of Periscope scalping, y'all.
It's a little happy Monday. And I am looking at... Yeah, I thought I saw something else on WDC. Maybe it was in the gamma here. Let me just take a peek. No, okay, it was a different ticker. I spend too much time looking at tickers. They all just run together after a certain amount of time. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the overview of the highest volume contracts on WDC. I'm just again not seeing a lot. Maybe that 417 310 put a little bit, but again, it's not a lot of volume, and you do have a lot of previous volume in here as well too. That candle, obviously today a little bigger of a size here, but again, just too much kind of going on in here to make an assumption either way.
Yeah, it's pretty noisy.
So, yeah, I'm just not seeing much for WDC, so yes, sorry. But no, thanks for asking though, because I mean it's a good way.
It's still good information to have too.
Yep. I think this was it. Nope, that was the Intel one. This guy right here.
The flow's been actually coming in from the chat today.
Punch it, baby. Let's go.
We got one from Roland 007 who asks about ALMU 20C for May 20th, but I looked it up. I couldn't find anything. I found a May 15th one for 20C, so I think that's what they meant. So I sent that link.
Small short again, tight stop this current candle.
Yeah, MC Christopher says thanks. No problem. That's what we're here for.
Yep, nope. And that's the thing too, like 90% of the flow that you look at is not going to be good.
That might even be undershooting it. It might be more.
Yeah.
The importance of filtering for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you took off your... 90% of the flow with my filters on is probably crappy.
I'm not going to sit through stop out on this. Oil is reversing to the downside again, so I am going to take a whopping $5 gain on that. I'm not going to sit.
Hey,
I'd rather be wrong and miss it than be wrong and get my ass blown.
The hell are you getting for lunch for $5, bro?
Hey, you can get like a 10-piece nugget with that these days. Well, no, maybe not even. You get a couple of I was going to say you get a couple dollar menu items, but they don't even really have a dollar menu anymore.
$5 pizza.
Hey! $3
what is that, Little Caesars? Just like permanently?
No, like I actually have a $5 pizza by me. Like it's called $5 pizza.
That is beautiful.
It's so good too. It's so good. I don't think it's $5 anymore, but I know it's still called that. But yeah, the ALMU.
Sue their asses.
Sue them.
Well, it's like Dollar General, like a dollar store, Dollar Tree. Like I think a lot of that stuff, like it's gonna be hard to. Yes, I like Dollar General better.
Ooh,
it's a little more. Jeez.
That is exactly why I didn't stay in that short. It's doing exactly what I expected it to. Boing.
And all that 6860, 6850, and 6840 have kind of decreased a bit.
Yep.
Especially that 6860, a big decrease on that.
Yeah, that one juiced there for a little bit. I imagine we saw some call profit taking there, hence the pretty big dump that we saw in net premiums.
67.45 kind of built a little bit too flippy there.
Now the seller's got to basically push it down from here, or that W will complete itself, and we might see a new high. If they give a really firm rejection, they might flip this into a head and shoulders and give sellers a stab at it. But right now, oil's not looking pretty. They're kind of flirting with losing 101 back toward that low of 157 cents again. But we'll keep an eye on that. If I see oil reverse to the upside, I'm going to be looking for shorts for sure. But right now, after that last short we took, I'm just going to chill. Let's see where they take it. Let's look at these ALMUs. I'll shut the hell up.
Yeah. I'm going to say I'm probably not seeing too much in here. I mean, you got 200 contracts there, 186 there, 306 there, 151 there. a lot of volume intraday here. This is something where I would want to see that open interest update tomorrow. I mean, could be somebody 200 contracts there, maybe selling
I'm
them
short.
there at
Oh my
128.
God. I'm already out
Did we
almost.
just dump?
Oh,
Oh
you're
man, we
damn
did.
right.
Oh,
I saw oil moving. Oh, if they jump this back up and stop me out after that, I'll be pissed. I just wanted to show the structure. If this bounces up above these EMAs, I'm going to take it, even though it's going to be pennies now. Wow. That moved.
those
I got
flash
in.
candle.
I got in, and it didn't even give me a chance to place my profit take, so I might just have to take scratch on this if oil keeps rejecting that spot. That was gorgeous, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't have time to put my profit in. So I'm going to watch this for just a second here. This can just slingshot me wide open off of that. Looks a bit stop runny. I'm going to move my stop down to above that candle. If they stop me out, I'll only lose like $15, but we were up like 40 points for a second there. Like I said, my target would have been right here at 260. I didn't even have an opportunity to place it. That moved that fast. But
Yeah, it looks like
I'm
Trump's
leaving it on
talking
for
right
now.
now.
Let's see what oil does. That was
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, you're gonna see some movement
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna
Like
get some wiggle. We getting some Trump tweet yeets?
You are getting a Trump tweet right now. If any of our Iranian ships come in, or if any of Iranian ships, and I don't know how the language is spelled there. Anyways, okay, that's bad. If any of Iranian ships come anywhere, who typed this? Close to our blockade, they will be immediately eliminated.
Who
Jeez, the
typed this?
grammar on that one. Jeez. Like, I was sitting there, I had to reread it like 3 times. That's like something I'd type almost. Man. Jeez. Check your stuff before you post it. But yeah, so those ALMUs, yeah, I want to verify that open interest tomorrow on those. Yeah, just a lot of contracts changing hands. I mean, that 201 there could be this whale maybe getting out here at 128. Again, you just don't know. A lot of contracts changing hands, and they're at the bid, they're at the ask. I mean, it's actually more on that bid side here too. So again, just something I'd want to check that open interest on there. Not saying it's bad, not saying it's good. Just want to verify that open interest tomorrow.
Word.
I think
Oil rejecting a little bit here. I did take that off at about scratch. I'm eyeballing another one here, but damn, that did suck. I didn't even have an opportunity to place my profit take or explain the structure before they took me up to break even. That was so fast. That was definitely the tweet.
Not fun.
Good old-fashioned headline risk.
Let's take a peek at these. How about these circle calls on the bid side circle calls? So these could be some short calls here. 9% out of the money, 4 days out. Let's take a peek at these. I do kind of like that net call premium on circle dropping off a bit there. Let's just see here. So okay, maybe not. Again, this is why you have to look at the flow there. You can't just assume. So when that flow again starts technically coming in here, you actually get an IV increase. That it's one of those odd fills there where it's that mid fill there, and it's that same bid ask. And then on your big size here, I mean, it's coming in closer to the bid, and you technically get that IV increase. This one would be a little risky for me to kind of even say short or long there, just with that goofy mid fill there, and then the bigger kind of size coming in there, a little closer to the bid. I mean, it's just one of those kind of, I mean, you're up 7.5% on the day too. Like, if I was going to take something like this, I'd probably just try to play the momentum today. I wouldn't want to swing these, because if you kind of look at the... Where was I? Here we are.
Oil is trying so hard to get back above 102.
Yeah. Yeah, like, if you look at the Greeks on this, I mean, that theta, if circle doesn't move another cent, you're going to lose 40 cents on those contracts overnight, and these were priced at, what again? 151. So I mean, you're losing a big chunk of that, and then the IV drop on that too after it not moving, and you're up 7%. That's what kind of makes me want to say they're possibly short calls, just with how far they are out of the money. And I mean, I'm just kind of looking at the other. I mean, your put premiums are kind of dropping a little bit now. Calls are kind of ticking up still. Yeah, just not just one of those pieces of flow where it kind of sit, maybe go back and just see how it played out there. So Tucker, you could actually write this one down. This would be a good example.
Hell yeah.
That 417. I'll just hey, I can just do this. Why not? Oh wait, I should probably put that in our correct one here. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. We have a whole side thing to save them, and we're gonna start building out dedicated watch lists for the shows eventually. Not quite yet, but we'll keep track so we can follow up on that shit.
Yeah, this isn't one that I'd take. I just want to kind of come back here just for
oil
a good
is
example here.
Tickling 102 here. Let's see if buyers and oil can push it above. Give equities a bit of a pullback back toward that run that I did not close in time.
Yeah, oopsies.
All right, oil peaked ahead. Oil peaked above 102. Can they reclaim it, or are they just going to knife this and send equity soaring yet again?
Yeah, we're just getting a lot of long-dated flow. Yeah, and this one, I'll show you why I'm just kind of passing over it quick here, too. Let's do this. Again, it's longer dated. I'm just seeing a lot of longer dated flow. Again, a name that's already up 4% on the day. You get your IV spike when it comes in. Spots filling with the ask. These do obviously overlap earnings here. You're 95 days out. You're going to probably overlap 2 earning sessions. Just depends on where you are in the cycle. You get a little IV drop here at the end. And I mean, I know I'm up 4%. And again, this is where I'm kind of talking about. You see that price in the HIMS is going up and that IV drops a little bit. I don't like that. That's not something I like to see. I'd rather see that IV at least stay the same or increase there. It's just not something I like seeing there. Again, longer dated contracts. You might love the flow. If you really, really love the flow, I always suggest kind of charting out that longer dated flow because sometimes the whales don't always get the best entries, and you can always sometimes get a better entry than that whale. Now, these could run another 20% today, and you miss it, but hey, it's almost. It feels a little chasey to me there. I mean, 33% on the money, 95 days. Maybe they're expecting HIMS to continue up. Maybe they're trying to play earnings. Just kind of a lot of factors going into something like that. And these do have some previous open interest, but the 867 contracts traded here, greater than that 658 current open interest there. We know this is an opening trade on these. But yeah, just kind of feels chasey to me. And Bissell, how about these? Oh, let's do the Googles here. Some decent size, doesn't overlap earnings. We'll see a lot of net call premium on it on the day. Let's just take a peek. So these might be, these look kind of good here to me. So why do they look good to me? So again, paying attention to your time column, bid ask spot, your IV. These don't overlap earnings, so I like that right away because it's going to be a lot of flow overlapping earnings right now. We get technically 2 IV increases, so it's a small IV increase here on one contract, and then you get that IV increase here. That spot is filling at the ask that entire time. Your IV stays the same, no drops, no big pops or anything. Again, spots filling at the ask. You can see that here on that fill versus spread. If you just want to kind of quickly scroll up to, you can just kind of see that there instead of look at the each and every single number. I'm so used to looking at the numbers, so I'm kind of use a combination of both. But yeah, I mean, these look like they're buy to open possibly here, 307.5. Put their 3% out of the money weeklies here. I mean, would like to kind of see that net call premium maybe drop a little bit in here, but this is when we can kind of come back to and look at. It's kind of one of those there I'd put on the fence there. If I saw that call premium kind of dropping when this was coming in, I'd be a little more willing to take something like that, but there's just still a lot of good volume on that. A lot of calls. I'm not really seeing puts pick up. It's one we can revisit.
It's a little
just
counter
to see how
trendy,
it played
which
out.
does make it interesting.
That I like catching those counter trend ones too for the most part, because they you I seem like I just have better luck. I'm not a big momentum chaser. Just I don't like chasing stuff that's up 3%, 4%. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
My Siri went
Yeah.
off. I'm like,
Siri's
I
just
don't even
talking
talk.
shit in the background.
Like, I didn't understand you. Like, I didn't say anything to you. That's why you didn't understand me. But yeah, those counter trades, I kind of like finding those. I mean, I almost think they're a little easier to read just because you don't get that. If a stock's up 5% on the day, your IV is going to be all jacked up. It's going to be elevated, especially if you're looking at calls and so on. And it can kind of skew the flow a little bit, I think. So I kind of like those counter trades. I mean, like, and this, I wouldn't consider too much of a counter trade here. I mean, you're only up 0.20% on the day here on Google. So it's not a massive counter trade. Now, if Google's up like 8%, I'd be like, yeah, that's definitely a count. Like the iron puts that we saw the one
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Like those were good. And do we got anything else on Google?
I'm gonna hit him with a quick animation.
Enjoy your piss break.
It is time for a piss break, and I'm gonna grab a soda because I'm coming.
Enjoy your piss break.
Oh, I will.
Anthony, what's your drink of choice? Are you a coffee guy, soda guy? What are you drinking?
Water.
You know what? That's base as hell, man.
Yeah, but that's why I'm, tired.
Yeah?
Tired. These MU puts look good here. These look short. Oh yeah, I'll wait for him to come back. These look short. I'm saving these. These actually look very good. Let me just pop this in. Yeah, what are you drinking, Tucker?
No, I'm the same, man. I'm just water. Like I'll have something caffeine once every couple of weeks, but I'm just kind of wary about like getting my body too used to having that. I don't know, just something I kind of worry about.
Yeah, I usually only get soda and stuff like if I get food. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not gonna eat like McDonald's with water. Like, who the hell's gonna do that?
You gotta get that crazy ass Sprite they get.
Oh, dude, I like their machines. How you can kind of, just like you can mix it. Or is that Wendy's? No, I think both. A lot of the places have it. Like you can do like different variations of like melon.
Movie theaters have that shit too.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, movie. I haven't been to a movie theater in a while, man.
What was the last movie you saw in theaters? You remember?
Man, I couldn't tell you. It's no. We saw some scary movie like 3 years ago. I don't even remember what movie it was. It was so.
We haven't
stupid.
been to a theater in so long.
I think we felt. Hey, while you were gone, I was waiting for you. I think I found some good MU short puts here.
Piece of
coming
candy.
In here.
Oh, my camera freaked out.
That 5.8 put, 27% out of the money. That's the main thing I'm kind of looking at for premium selling there.
Like
is how far are they out of the money?
Yeah.
I mean, 27%. Obviously, I always say anything can happen, but the likelihood of MU dropping 27% in a month. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen, but the likelihood of it, probably not. Again, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Nothing's a certainty at all. But the odds of that happening probably slim. I'm just kind of looking at these as well too. This is you get your IV decrease. They are filling a little under the mid here. Not directly at the bid, but I mean, I would lean these are short here just kind of based on that contract structure alone and just kind of looking at the Greeks on here too as well. I usually leave it on long put here just so you can kind of see how if you were actually long those puts there, how they're going to decay. You can switch it up to short. I don't.
Fair.
But yeah, like look at your theta on here, that delta in your theta. So for every dollar MU is going to move. So let's just say MU stays at this. What are we trading at right now? 412, 412 on the nuts. Okay.
412 on the nuts.
Hey, it was right on them. But you look at that. So MU does not. Well, we'll just say it stays at 412, closes at it. You're gonna lose 20 cents on that contract on theta. You have a very, very low delta. So every dollar that MU would technically in this gain, or would decrease if you were actually long these puts, you're only going to get 5 cents on that contract. So that theta really outweighs that delta on those contracts there. So now tomorrow, for example, if we stayed at 412, you're going to lose 20 cents on that contract. You would need a $4 drop to make up 1 day of theta there. So that's kind of what makes me think that they're probably short there on those puts. And just kind of looking here, so like again, if you were long puts here, like you just see as you get closer and closer to expiration, theta kicks in, starts to eat the contracts away. And I mean, by April 23rd, when did these expire? The 5/8.
Yeah.
So I mean, April 23rd here, 10 days away. Even with a 9% drop, those contracts, if you were long those puts, would only be up 3%. As long as these expire out of that 300 or above 300, this whale collects the premium there. So I mean, that's why when I see people, I always say, like, if you're short puts, I say it's neutral to bullish, because again, MU does not have to move a penny, and this whale will collect that premium as long as these contracts stay out of that 300. And it's the same for calls. If you're selling calls, again, it's neutral to bearish there, because that name does not have to move a penny, and that will collect those that premium there. So it's not like you're buying calls, buying puts where you're looking for that strong move. This whale could just think, hey, we're just going to chop in this area for a month. So I did write those down. I actually really like those.
Yeah, those are worth following up on.
There. Yeah.
We did get one comment in the YouTube chat from Nadav Goldman 6725, who asks, "Can you analyze ETHE?"
We don't. Yeah, we don't really do much crypto, honestly.
I can show you. I mean, I can show you what unusual whales
you can check
has
some
going
like
on
big
in
transactions and whatnot, but I'm not a huge crypto guy at all. I don't really look at it personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can show you that crypto page on unusual whales here. Again, yeah, I'm not massive into crypto either, but yeah, I mean, looks like buyers are outweighing your sellers right now. Your symbol, a good chunk of it's Ethereum there, obviously. Most of it's going to be Bitcoin, but just, yeah, if you like kind of data here, I wonder if I can even pull anything up here. Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see some size come in here. It looks like they're kind of buying in here. Tells you what price they're buying at, the size they're buying at. So, I mean, it looks like they're buying here, just kind of doing a face value look. Yeah, a lot of buys kind of coming in here. 412, 19. Oh, these are a lot of these from yesterday's. Oops, sorry. Okay, 413 here. Yeah, just kind of looking. Yeah, it looks like buyers are kind of outweighing sellers right now there on Ethereum. Yeah, I'm not super... give you a breakdown on Ethereum, but yeah, I'll show you what some of the data. Oh, look at that buy on the cryptos there. Yeah, it's really picking up.
Something more specific from Brody did in the YouTube chat. Or no, sorry. So Full Metal Max, my bad. 8XTI 63 call for May 29th. Wait, I dropped the link for you guys.
AXTI. These look like they are already moving a bit. So...
Just another one of those tickers that I'm like, what even is
that? Yeah, man, a lot of these, it's just been a lot of chasing for the flow too the last like week, and I'm just
those
not
are spicy
a fan of
too.
That. Yeah, I mean, definitely opening volume. At least that first candle there, 3,700 contracts. Now I would want to just double check that open interest tomorrow, because you have your big first candle here, and we'll dive into that flow here too, but. So 3,700 contracts, you get about 2,000 there, another 700 there, you're at 2,700. What's this, 175? So about 400. So you're very close. You're missing about roughly 700 in there. Again, a lot can change, but we'll look at that original flow that kind of came in. It's one that I would want to double check that open interest just because of the way it kind of came in. That is some highly elevated IV on these two. Hey, Full Metal Full Metal Texas replacing me with the high price
Yeah, with the
contracts here too. It
expensos.
looks
Yes,
like.
sir.
Yeah, I'm looking at these, so it looks like this is our pretty much our first trade here. I'm just want to catch that beginning.
To Brody's question about what's up with Tesla, shouldn't it be benefiting from oil issues? It's dying. I don't know if it's quite that simple. With that straight closed, more than just oil suffers for one, and for two, I mean Tesla gets pretty volatile in general as well. But I don't really play Tesla personally.
Tesla does its own thing.
I tend to get swamped by Tesla in both directions. I have a very bad track record with Tesla specifically. But no, I don't think it's as simple as oil up, Tesla up type thing.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, and then you got to think about what goes into the battery.
I understand the logic that, battery versus oil. I understand that logic, but I don't think it's quite that simple. Tesla, I think for the most part, is going to move with the rest of the NASDAQ in general, but I have seen it inverse quite a bit lately. But I'm not knowledgeable enough about what's going on at Tesla as a company to really give a clean read on a macro perspective. I leave the macro discussion to the guys on the FOMC panels. I do.
Tune in Wednesday. We have Elon guest hosting. You can ask him.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
God, that'd be.
Imagine Tucker doesn't even know. Just surprises.
Yeah, I show up and just see the guy. Holy crap. You wouldn't be able to keep that a secret, Nick, I don't think.
No.
I don't know if I'd be able to keep my mouth shut about a certain few things either, so.
Maybe we have them then. Spice up the show a little bit.
Yeah. Ask him why he never finished completing the streaming stuff for Twitter, and now we can't even put descriptions in our videos.
Oh, God. Okay, that's my fault. Looking you off track. My bad. So yeah, those AXTIs, when they came in, again, they do overlap earnings here. You get an IV spike, so the IV kind of drops here. We are filling at the ask, though. Let's go back to the previous page. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on that. So we're at that 190.84, repeat hits ascending fill. So now you just see how that IV's kind of dropping here and that price is going up. I'm not a fan of that. Like in real time, if I'm seeing this and then you see that IV drop here and those contracts are coming in at the bid here now, then you have that bid ask widening a little bit. Yeah, it's just kind of all over. I mean, then your IV spikes again here on your bigger size, and it drops again. It's just all over. It's just a very muddy kind of tape. I don't like with some of that bid side coming in there. And I mean, here's your ask, and again, it's showing it's an ask side, but just again, this is why I like that fill versus spread. If you don't want to sit and do math, just kind of look at this and just look where that contract is filling. A lot of these, I mean, a lot of it's at the bid here, and even that ask side stuff is pretty lean towards the mid, except for that earlier stuff. So I mean, that's what kind of draws a little caution for me in here. Yeah, like now these are filling at the ask again. Yeah, it's just kind of all over. Now again, hindsight's 2020. Now I've said in real time I would have looked at those and probably backed off a little bit on those, but 15.39 and they're trading at $17 right now. So I mean that's would kind of be, it's they ran there. But that volume after just kind of concerns me a little bit. Could it be profit taking? I don't know. I would want to verify that open interest tomorrow. See if any other flow comes in throughout the day. Just kind of one of those spottier contracts there on those.
We've got kind of an interesting one on Mara. At a glance here, I would be tempted to lean bought to open, but if you see down here at the bottom, the very first few orders that came in 1 second before, mind you, minuscule compared to the overall position we're seeing here, they came in at a perfect bid before we saw a bid-ask spread shift to put that 23 at an ask fill. Even though it gave me pause initially, I'm curious, since you watch IV more than I do, does the increase in implied volatility as these orders continue coming in from that initial 91.35 to 92, where it remained throughout the duration of the order, does that help alleviate the pause for you that you might have with the first two contracts coming in at bid?
Yeah, let's. I'm just popping them up on my screen.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
I would lean these are buy to open to, kind of like you said. You're starting out the bid, and then it looks like that bid turns into the ask there, and that spread shrunk a little, or not shrunk there. It just kind of turned into the ask. Yeah, you get your IV increase. I see exactly what you're talking about in here. I mean, IV doesn't fluctuate at all in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
I'd
I
probably
wouldn't even
lean, but
speculate that the ones that came in after would be related. They're
no.
nearly 2 minutes later. The size
Yeah.
doesn't align with how big this positioning was. Fill price is quite a bit different as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, a lot at 948. Again, it's not a ton of contracts. Now, if it was like a 200, couple hundred, 130, 40 maybe. I mean, but I mean, even this one, I mean, you're just getting kind of singular contracts filling in here too. How does that flow look before that bid side flow though? Let's see. Shit, where'd we go? Where? Okay, here we go. So yeah, I mean, and this is kind of why I like that context around the flow. Again, I mean, it's only a couple minutes earlier. It is kind of a little multi-leg trade too, so I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But you just see when that flow comes in, so you get an IV spike there, IV spike there. I'd probably lean their buy to open on these. What else do we got coming in on Mara though? How's our premium? Oh, yeah, I would probably lean their buy to open. I'm just kind of looking at the premiums there. I mean, spiking that put premium there, spiking the put premium again there. Were these a cause of that spike here? What is this? 10% out of the money, 11 days, 148K. So this is 10% of the total premium there, and these came in at that 945, 950 range. So it looks like this trade here is what caused that spike in that put premium here. And then you kind of get a little drop there. What is going on with this name? Because there's a lot of kind of up and down movement. So if
Marathon's
you're
kind of a meme back in the day.
yeah,
But it's just it's
so like
another Bitcoin miner.
yeah. So like one thing I like to do too, like if you're seeing those kind of big up and downs in here, you can just kind of come and look at that highest volume contracts. I'll look and see here what's potentially contributing to the premiums there. So right away I see that drop in that put premium. I'm kind of looking for bid side puts. Right away I see that 515.7 put gain a lot of bid side action. You can see 98% of that is bid side, and it looks like 925, 930. Oh, 925, 930. There's your kind of timing. Maybe if I could properly hold it there. 925, 930. There's your drop right there. So this is what caused that drop in that put premium there. So just kind of look at the flow here and see how that looks. So these are interesting to me. So they're filling at the bid. So okay, well we'll make an educated guess here that pop this open. That this flow being traded at 929.13, 2 seconds before, or actually 3 seconds before that big alert here. I would like to say, oh, and we got repeated hits down here too, 929. Yeah, I would make a very strong educated guess. This is all coming within about a 10-second time frame. Again, 100% can't confirm it, but I would say very likely it's related. But we do have some open interest on this as well too. So we do have 4,700 open contracts. So that could possibly
Seems
skew
like a
that a little bit.
lot of it has been coming in day over day toward the bid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking. How much was our whale again here? So about 5,500 spread across that 10-second time span. Now, if that time span was all the same, I'd probably be a little more courteous on it, and I'd say it's probably a buy to open. Just kind of looking at this though, when it comes in, I'm going to say that 10.29.10 is our first trade. So again, your IV's at that 105.05. These do overlap earnings, so they expire that day after earnings. So something to kind of be aware of as well.
And
But you
something
can see
I've
when
been
we get there.
even like, yeah, it has over a month of time. Mara is kind of on a ripper today. I could just straight up see this being somebody really trying to capitalize on that IV.
Yeah.
Because day over day, the fatal on that is going to eat these alive if Mara doesn't drop. And literally all this trader needs, if they are indeed short, and this isn't it isn't a closure of that open interest, if this is just continuation of those short contracts we just saw day over day, all they need is for Mara to trade above 7 come 5:15, and they pocket every penny of that. And with high implied volatility like that, if it doesn't get a move in that direction soon and fast, the value of these contracts is going to drop overnight pretty dramatically. So I don't know, man. I would almost lean this as a continuation of the shorting we've been seeing on the contract.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, let's save this one. We can come back and take a peek at that one. This is a good example here, and I mean they are 30% out of the money too, man. That is pretty far out of the money. The thing that makes me think they could potentially be buys though. I mean, you have their IV increase there, IV increase here again. Yeah, it's just it's so far out of the money though.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is like, let's assume a lot of those day over day positions that we saw carry over. Let's assume, and again, assume that those were short to begin with. With a month to expiration, 30% out of the money, I don't know if I was short that I'd close them for $17 a piece. I would. I mean, if you're in 5,000 contracts, that $17 a piece could be pretty substantial. I would probably theta gang it and still be in that short if I had shorted those puts. But yeah, I mean, it could be anything. If we see that if we see that open interest fall off tomorrow, I'm gonna jump right in with Team Anthony that these were bought and most likely bought to close. But if that OI goes up, I'm gonna stick to my guns and think these are short.
Yeah, it's a good one. Good one to come back to. Good one to come back to and look at on Wednesday, see what happened. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at there's not really a high theta on those, and that you get that lower theta when you're buying time on your contracts. And I mean, it's that delta doesn't seem that high with it being a 10, but this is a $7 stock?
Yeah, $10.
Mara's $10. So I mean, a dollar move is a 10% move on the stock. So I mean, it's a significant move. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those names there where it's not, you could be looking for. I mean, you don't need a 6% drop by the 15th. I mean, you're up 30% on the contract, so it'll be an interesting one. We can come back and take a peek at that. I'd kind of mark something like that as riskier there, though. Geez, ONDS is getting slapped today.
ONDS is another one that we've been seeing like every episode.
Yeah. So the 1710 calls and that 519 call. I kind of looked at these already popped a little bit. These, yeah, again, good example here. So like when I'm looking at that IV, I mean, you see that IV, it technically decreases when that flow comes in, and it would be something that held me up. But again, just because that IV always decreases doesn't necessarily mean the flow's not going to work out. Those things absolutely ran. But yeah, these are ones, and these came in, I mean, 15 minutes after open too. So I mean, and you see that fill. I mean, it's a little more on the ask side there too, but Hindsight's gonna always be 2020, no matter what.
And even sometimes not even then.
Yeah,
I've seen plenty of flow where the carryover did not help me whatsoever, and that's the kind of shit that I avoid.
I hate that stuff. That second batch of ONDSs look interesting here. IV spike when they come in, repeated hits alert. Again, your spots filling at the ask here. Just the 4 contracts here don't really concern me.
Yeah, that spread was wide as shit.
Yeah, $600 out of a 274K trade. I think we can agree that's probably not a significant chunk, and that's something I do like looking at too, like on that IV decrease, or like if that spot's not filling at the ask or bid fully. I like to see that kind of size that's doing that. 4 contracts out of, 1,700 here. Probably not a significant chunk of the trade. Now, if it was that 1,100 here and you get that IV drop and kind of a goofier fill, that's what kind of draws a little concern to me there. And again, these are just my rules that I go by. You don't have to follow my rules at all. Everybody has their own rules. I look for different context in my flow. Like I will look for maybe 3-4 solid textbook pieces of flow in a week. I don't like trading 1,000 pieces of flow. So I want that good textbook flow, and if I don't get it, I'm not gonna force it. Nokia. Oh man, Nokia's running again too. Didn't Snore have some Nokia contracts too?
I saw those 12s come in earlier, but it was right after you bitched about looking at long dated flow.
So well, that doesn't mean you don't have to look at it. I'm just not a fan, man. I'm not patient. I don't have the patience.
I mean, you've seen me trade, dude. I'm in and out of a trade within 2 minutes. 158 days is a little bit outside the scope of my usual timeline.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But for flow, I like monthlies most. Monthlies the week. I don't like sitting on a Wednesday and trying to play flow that expires that Friday. But I do like when I see flow, like let's say Nokia is dropping instead of ripping 10% today. If I see puts come in on a Wednesday for that Friday, I might like it enough, but I'm not going to buy that Friday's expiration. I buy a week out usually. And if I'm doing like SPY contracts, I'll get 1 to 2 days ahead instead of 0 days. Unless it's like right out of the morning chasing momentum. I don't like 0-day stuff. That theta will eat you alive on 0 days.
Yeah, especially once you get towards that afternoon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's...
starts having an effect real fast.
Yeah. The second batch of ONDSs here look pretty good, though. Oh, wait, no, we were just talking about that. God, we already talked about that. What am I doing? I was looking at the Nokias here. Yeah, you're getting that repeated hits descending fill here, so, you see where it's descending here a little bit at the end, and you get that IV drop there, and your price is going up. Yeah, with the way that Nokia is moving, 17% out of the money, 158 days, again, you don't know if it's earnings related and so on. I sound boring because I haven't really put on a good trade. Besides those MU puts, that's all that really looked super good to me. But, 158 days out, the way it's been moving, I'd probably lean buy to open on those. Again, I'm just not a fan of the earnings. How do our net premiums look? Yeah, those things just absolutely barely a bear in sight there. Still hibernating season there. Your biggest day of bearish premium here came in on 413, and Nokia didn't even flinch barely at all on that.
And like just general flow volume wise, my interval flow filter hasn't spit anything out since ONDS. So my rules, at least, my filters are not pumping the juice today. Kind of slow. My interval flow filter's hit or miss, man. Sometimes it'll be noisy as all hell. And then other days like today, this is all we've got since open so far, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like Anthony was saying, most options flow is nothing burger flow. It's just, hey, look, some contracts. My filters narrow that down dramatically. You can see this filter on the community page, unusualwhales.com/community. It's one of the ones in the watch lists column. But it's not particularly stringent. Like, Just 70% of the transactions happening ask side, 1,500 total volume on the day, more volume than open interest, not even by that big of a margin. And then percent of the total volume in that interval being 65%. It's not particularly stringent or restrictive, but not getting a ton of hits today. Mara was a good one to look at. Nokia was a good one to look at, but again, I'm with Anthony on that 158 days. There's too much context that can exist there, and I don't want to think too hard, like I said earlier. The more Micron calls came in at like 9:45 Central, but it's been a pretty slow filter for me today, which is, not the end of the world. But if you guys got some requests, pop that shit out. We'll start breaking down more flow. We'll stay on for a little bit longer.
Combining those MU calls, I must have missed those when they came in. Now I really actually like those. Yeah, I mean just kind of knowing what's going on too. Like I have multiple tabs open. I don't like to mix my ask and bid side and ETF. I like to just have everything separate so I can just kind of click around and just see again.
Yeah, these
preference
430s are pretty confidently side.
Yeah, and
the only flow before this series of orders that added up to the whole were 5 minutes prior. That's not related. I don't care that they're bid side. These came in, they slapped the shit out of the ask. It's pretty, not like a crazy wide bid ask spread for how expensive these contracts are. 1355 to 1400. These are filling very cleanly at 1400 evens. We're not seeing real fluctuations in implied volatility, and in fact, toward the end of those orders, it starts falling off. Now, one thing that could contribute to that is the tightening of the bid-ask spread. You can see those bids are rising as these fills continue at 14. You're seeing that bid rise from 1355, 60, 80, 14, and then it's flagging these as bid after the fact of that series of orders. So it's a toughie, but I would lean bot on these.
I'd probably lean bot on that too.
Now keep in mind, we've got substantial open interest, but these orders really start ramping up the volume as they come in. None of these orders are bigger than open interest plus existing volume on the day. So we can't be sure any one of these individual orders is a new position. But given the totality of those orders coming in, pushing up on like 1.5x the open interest, I'm speculating new positioning here. Even though we don't have a guaranteed new position, I'm speculating new positioning here. So I would expect to see open interest jump a little bit more tomorrow, unless, we see equal size flow come in today showing me that they got out intraday. But they're already up
a little bit, yeah.
129 bucks per contract.
Can't argue with that.
No complaints from me. But again, assuming they're bought, I'm leaning bought to open. There's only $2 million in premium on that. Plus, we have the context that he was looking at those short puts earlier in the show. I'm saying we save both of those and revisit on Wednesday for Micron.
Yep. I'll pop that into the chat as well.
Some decent flow this morning, I gotta say. Just not a lot of it.
Surprised. Yeah. Kind of surprised. A lot of chasing. How about these IPs of 5:15:37:5 calls? Again, another one that overlaps earnings. Gonna hear that a lot over the
well, I mean, you're gonna get that a lot. We're entering a new earnings season. Banks start up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs actually reported today.
Yeah. I think we have like 5 or 6 tomorrow. I'll pop that open over here.
We can go look at earnings after this if you want. Flow's kind of quieted down a little bit. These 44, 54.16, 53.92. So like when you see that IV drop, like I always just kind of see where it's coming in. I mean, you're 1 cent below the ask, 12 contracts, probably not big deal. Yeah, I mean, like these IPs look good to me. I mean, mostly coming in at the ask here. Again, another earnings overlap. You do have some ask side volume come in here after the initial candle. Just would want to verify that open interest, but I would probably make the assumption that it's could potentially carry over. Again, assumption. You would want to verify that 100% there, though. It's earnings calendar. You want me to pull it up, or are you doing it?
I got it open here. Kind of take a little dive. Okay, like cool. I said, we've got a good chunk of bank earnings tomorrow. We've got JPM, Wells Fargo, Citi. We also got Johnson & Johnson, which obviously isn't a bank, but still interesting to look at. What I want to look at real quick, so I'm going to pop open JPM and Citi. Why not? I just want to take a quick look at their past earnings. Again, neither Anthony nor I tend to play earnings often. When we do, we go cheap as shit on it. Not a big fan of lottos. And if you look at JPM, and honestly, this is kind of the case for the banks, and I expect Citi to be similar. They tend to trade within their implied move. The implied move's based on options contracts pricing, implied volatility therein. And so, generally speaking, depending on how high that implied volatility is, you need the price following that binary event of the earnings report to move outside of this range to really capitalize on any profitability. If you move, like, let's see here, what's our plus or minus this earn? They are looking at about, again, just a 3% move in either direction. If this moves 2.5%, even if it's in your direction, you're not going to see a lot of profit from that. You need it outside of these. And with banks, they tend to be pretty in line with expectations in the options pricing. Citi, kind of the same story with a couple of outliers. Even a move like this is outside the implied move last quarter. Kind of outside the implied move, but not really. Those contracts to the downside probably didn't profit a ton. You got to get a move. These ones over here, when it had an implied of 350-ish, and it traded plus 6.5%, those calls probably made a good bit of money. It moved 3% outside the expected range. That's when you start seeing good profitability on your contracts in either direction, puts to the downside, calls to the upside. You really want to see that implied move get blown out to make good money on your contracts. You want IV to increase into the move rather than decrease into the move, because if that IV decreases really sharply, which tends to happen if they don't beat their implied move, ouchies, man, you know? So for banks, I know, like, when you look at Jay-Z, when he's on the show talking about earnings, he likes to go far out of the money for big moves. With banks, that might not be the move, because that you know, within implied move range isn't going to profit a lot at all for really out of the money contracts. Banks are something you might want to play a little closer to the money if that's your bag. But again, you can lose just as easily as you can win. You can have an amazing earnings report and absolutely get slaughtered on the stock price just because the CEO said something like, oh, next quarter we're going to do XYZ, and they might not like it. You know, it's very much a toss-up. If you're playing earnings, unless you are extremely accustomed to and talented at it and know how whatever ticker you're playing always moves on earnings and you have a strategy built around it, if you play earnings, I would say lottery size, like 1, 2, 3 contracts, whatever amount is so small that losing it will not affect your bottom line whatsoever. Because there are scratch-off tickets with a better hit rate than just tossing contracts at earnings. But other than that, we got J&J. What are they looking at for tomorrow morning? Dude, they also just hang out smack dab in the middle of their implieds. Plus or minus 2%. They traded 0.4%. Plus or minus 2, negative 1.9, 1.55. You know, some of these guys, what people like to refer to as boomer stocks, slow and steady tends to be what they do. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not an investor. I'm a trader. So I don't care much about that, personally. I don't even look at, like, financials and shit. I'm very short-term with everything I buy. Or sell.
Yeah, options, you trade them, don't own them. That's kind of the
Now, if you have shares, you can, build collars around it, wheel position. I don't, though. That's okay. EBD. I don't even know what any of these tickers are. Those are basically the only cool ones. The BlackRock. BlackRock's jumped way outside its implied a few times recently, huh?
Well, when you own everything, I mean, you know.
They do pretty consistently beat EPS. Earnings per share.
Well, you know, when you own everything.
Yeah. Yeah, BlackRock's kind of a toss-up, but I don't know about you. I'm not going to be buying contracts on $1,000 stock, personally.
No. Hey, you got Netflix this week, too? Netflix, yeah.
Bank of America reports on Wednesday. We can probably talk about some of those after the fact and pre-market. But yeah, Wells Fargo looking at same shit. Wells Fargo moves outside its implied quite a bit more often. You wanna just pull up some raw flow on Wells Fargo? It has moved outside the implied move the last 3 reports. Could be worth looking at to see if anybody's doing any kind of lottery shenanigans for earnings on Wells Fargo.
Yeah, well, you might have some short puts here in the 515.72 fives. These, so 8,300 contracts coming in. We did have some open interest, but that size alone is telling me it's a new position. I do just want to go back and look at that. So it doesn't look like any of that's even closely related, and it looks like a lot of this has just been kind of
shenanigans
coming in. Yeah,
shenanigans.
So these, let's look. Oh man, dude, my eyes are so dry from
Mine
the
are
stupid
too.
weather, man. Oh. All right, let's look at these. So, I would. Oh man.
Yeah, you
Oh
rub
god,
your
I hate
eyes.
the
I'm
one.
gonna hit them with an animation because that's
Yeah, you do.
right through me. You know me. You know me. Flush it down. I'll be back. 30 seconds with a couple of shakes, and we'll be back at it. Be right back.
Have fun. Yeah, we'll look at these WFCs here. Tucker, are you gonna ever go take a piss break? I mean, I don't take them either. We're dedicated workers. We don't need to leave everybody and go take a piss.
Yeah, man, let's go with that. I totally don't just get up and go to the bathroom without saying anything sometimes.
Hey, bladder control, man. Something you need. Oh man. Yeah, I could go for a nap after this.
You usually
Yeah,
go take a nap when you're finished with the show?
No, absolutely not. I wish.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go get food usually after the show.
That makes sense, yeah.
Usually do my lunch at about 11 here, and then, just kind of BS after that. Yeah, earnings tomorrow, I'm waiting for Nick to come back. Yeah, I would say these are probably short puts here. I mean, they're coming in cent above the bid here, and IV drops when they come in. Yeah, I'd probably lean short there and 15% out of the money. Anything else on WFC besides those? Let's see. Looks like this is a multi-leg there. Some long-dated calls here at the bid. Could be closing activity though. Yeah, not a lot going on in this one because you got 2,000 contracts, but just a lot of other bigger spikes in here, so not really anything on that one. Some weekly puts coming in here, and these could be another short put, so I'm going to have 2 good things for him to look at when he comes back. Look at that.
Piece of candy.
Look at that. You came back, and I think I got 2 pieces of Wells Fargo flow for you.
I found a piece of candy on a different thing. We'll have to pop open afterwards, too, for CCL.
What kind of candy? What kind of candy?
Well, it's cruise line, so probably polluted with flushable feces from the cabins.
Me actually thinking you found candy on the floor back from your piss break. I was like, you found candy?
Yeah, I'm just eating some bathroom candy. Just some bathroom candy.
Hey,
the good stuff.
You don't keep candy in your bathroom?
I thought it was normal.
Oh. Anyways, so I I think I found some good short puts for Wells Fargo. You got your IV drop when it comes in. These are filling a cent below or a cent above of the bid there. Still on the major bid side, I'd probably lean short puts on those. Then you also had the 417 weeklies come in here, all filling it a penny here. No flow before it. But
63 puts, man. That's
26% out of the money.
even with it moving well outside implied moves, I would be hard pressed to think Wells Fargo Bank is going to dump 26% over earnings. That would be kind of nutty. That's a premium grabber. And if you notice, those are kind of already worthless. That's literal penny grabbing.
And then also, I think the 63s, is that the one we just looked at? No. Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so a
And
penny there. And then the 60 puts
I
here,
just
too.
that could just straight up be some random Joe Schmo. Like, if you
Yeah,
look at the premiums on this, it's nothing burger size. Like, this could just straight up be one of us being like, that's not gonna happen. Give me my, $1,500 total.
1,500, yeah.
Yeah. Now, mind you, if it does happen, and I don't think it's gonna, but if it happens, bro who shorted those is gonna get blown wide open violently. But I don't think that'd be a crazy fucking move for Wells Fargo.
It's one of those things where you're like, anything can happen, but the likelihood of it happening,
not gonna,
yeah, probably
that's the
not.
kind of flow I'm not necessarily gonna trade. Like, if I see that with earnings coming up, it expires in 2 days, it's 20+% out of the money on a stock that barely moves 4. I think that's just some guy trying to make a couple $100 into earnings.
Probably.
Playing Theta Gang in small size. If I saw that in the hundreds of thousands, I would say the same thing, just a richer person. That just seems like low-hanging fruit. If you have the port size for it and the risk tolerance, or if you have shares that can get called away that won't destroy your actual margin and bank account, that's the kind of thing I could see you do. Pretty low risk factor. Dude, it would take an absolute nuke of news to dump one of the banks 26% overnight. I think if Wells Fargo drops that far in 2 days and the other banks follow suit, we have much bigger fucking problems than whatever that guy selling those puts is doing.
Your money's probably not worth much anyways at that point.
Much bigger problems.
I see those CCLs.
Yeah, those CCLs raised my eyebrow, but it is pretty much all one order.
So, and it looks
confirm new position at the least.
That 100755. So you got 4,999 contracts.
Let's just round it
one
to 5,000,
contract there.
Man.
We'll round it to 5,000 there.
It's the same, homie. Why? It's like 499.
That's
like they're trying to trick you into buying something it's cheaper than it is. Like, no, it's 5,000.
Yeah, these are interesting to me. I mean, it's getting after this we got back-to-back bitch slaps on Intel. Oh, good. Oh, I saw those too.
Yep.
And yeah. I mean, you're down 3.5% on the day. These are 18% out of the money. Looks like this is probably the reason we got that spike in call premium, 19% of the total premium. Yeah, I mean that's your major contributor to that. Do we have anything else on CCL? 4-day out puts, 4-day out calls.
All with pretty steep open interest. This was the standout one for the name.
Yeah.
I do wish they had legged into it more rather than just one fat stack of 5,000, but I mean that's not necessarily write it off type thing. The tiny orders that followed a few minutes later, I think a little bit more bid than ask, but they're minuscule. They're nothing burger compared to the $530,000 somebody slapped onto those 32s.
Yeah, probably people chasing. Yeah, I mean a couple minutes later I kind of start to disregard that. I'll keep an eye on it. Like when you see I made that same second coming in here, but I mean it's
we got another fuck Intel. What is this? Nope, don't like it. Never mind, it's ugly. I just saw these CPNG come in, just 10,500 contracts. Wham! All in at once. But dog shit fill. Pretty wide bid-ask spread. There's another one with a lower. I think these might be shorted in. The CPNG, dude, it's still coming in. More coming in. IV's dropping dramatically. I think these are being written. I think these are sells. Look at this. Holy shit, dude! What is happening? Now I gotta set my results to 250 again. Somebody's slapping the shit out of these contracts. These CPNGs. Phil's kind of all over the place. You can see that the bid-ask spread tightened up a little bit, and they start filling at the ask price. But I don't know, man. Look at IV flying around all over the place as this bid-ask tightens up. I don't know how I feel about these now. But they slapped the shit out of them. We just saw 5,000 more contracts come in since I opened it.
I'm looking at the feed on my end too. What the?
Yeah, they're just slapping the hell out of these. IV dropping, IV rising. That bid ask is kind of chopping around all over the place. Still filling kind of ask, kind of bid in the mid. All of these came in at the ask. The first order of 10,500 came in ask side, but again, really wide bid ask spread. Even though it is 20 away from 112 and 40 away from 52, that could really easily go either way.
Yeah.
I do like the straight ask fills that came in. Kind of keeping it ask side, but look at that bid ask, dude. It's jumping all over the place. The liquidity's weird.
Yeah.
Now they're coming in bid side again because the bid ask is crazy wide again. These are ones where it's really hard to tell. The orders that followed did not make it easier to tell, quite honestly.
Yeah, I'd probably lean short. I'm looking at kind of some of the other highest volume contracts. You have a lot of bid side calls on that 319 27 call and the 115 27 call there. I mean, very long dated compared to the 25 day out one, but these are really deep in the money. 15% in the money. Ugh. Ignore.
Oh, the 17s that popped in.
Yeah, and the 18s. I mean, 10%.
Well, I mean,
of the
if
money.
they're sold and they're that deep in the money, that could still be pretty bullish.
Yeah. Oh, it's multi-leg with shares too. Oh,
yep. All right, I'm writing off CPNG. I want to save it just to see what happens, but I don't have any confidence that these are buys or sells now. I still kind of lean sell side. Just because of the way those came in after the fact, and after that bid-ask spread tightened up, the fills didn't change. It just happened to become the ask in the spread. That first order that came in, even though it's way closer ask than it is to bid. I don't know, man. I'm leaning sold on them, but I'm not leaning far enough to them being sold that I'm gonna play it. There's too much going on there. That huge multi-leg with shares. We don't know exactly what's going on there either.
And you have an earnings overlap too. These expire that week of earnings, so.
But I did save it. We're gonna follow up on it just to see what happens. But let it be known, we are not making any kind of confident call out on that CPNG flow.
No,
I just want to see what happens.
Garbage.
It was unusual options activity, I will say that confidently, but it's hard to say what direction they're going. All I know is that a shitload of money and contracts came in on it. No confidence in the fills. Even those perfect 87 fills at the ask, I'm not confident because of the surrounding context. Now those intels, the 88s and the 80s, we should take a look at those.
Yeah, so these are 37% out of the money. We do have earnings in 10 days. So remind me to look at the earnings for this as well either. Yeah, again, just not the best looking fill here. I mean, that 1017.02 is when it comes in, you're at 77.17. IV increases, then it drops a little bit, then it increases on the big size there, and the premium, I would probably lean these buy to open here, just kind of based on the ending there where it's that big size. You're filling up the ask, your IV increases. I would probably lean buys on those. Again, you have the earnings overlap, and these, I wouldn't consider this earnings flow. Usually what I consider earnings flow is that those contracts that expire that same week of earnings. These, it looks like they're played out for a lot longer. Yeah,
when you start getting months out, I stop thinking they're directly earnings related. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean they're not, but the farther out they are, the less confident I am it's a direct straight earning. Intel has been a buzz company, though. We've talked about it pretty much every episode. We're seeing consistently hitting calls on them. If you pull open the chart, I bet it's kind of been in an uptrend for most of the year, despite the pullbacks. The administration talked about buying it. I don't know enough about what's going on with their structure or how they are playing the whole, all of these major companies starting to detract from their consumer grade chips to make shit for data centers. I don't know if Intel's doing the same thing or not. But people seem kind of bullish on Intel after a couple of years of clowning on them. So we'll have to see.
And even those 5880 calls look good here too. I mean, your IV increases, spots filling up the ask, your big size and premium. I mean, man, if these didn't overlap earnings, like, this is something I would probably easily take something like that. You have that double confirmation because you have your
80s are way
80
out
call,
there, though,
88 caller. Yeah, that's hey,
them being short
it's
dated is really
unusual
interesting,
flow.
though. They're pretty short dated for that far out of the money.
Yeah, it's.
That's
I mean,
the
and if you
kind of
get
shit Jay-Z would play for earnings, but he would play it like day of. He wouldn't play it a month.
yeah, and if you get like a 4 or 5% move on there, I mean, I want to take a peek at here, and then I'm gonna pull up the earnings chart on here. I mean, you get a dollar move on there, and you get 18 cents on the contract. The theta's not super aggressive there, but you want a good move on Intel there. Let's. How does Intel do for earnings? Yeah, where's our earnings guy here? Ooh, yeah. I mean, Intel's earnings. I mean, when it hits that implied move, looks like it favors that downside more so there. I mean, you
It
have
does
an
seem to
average
pop
move
out pretty
of
frequently, though. So earnings
yeah,
players, Intel might be one of the ones to do if you can get the direction.
plus minus
But the flip side is also
11.27.
true. Like if you were long in that Q1 2026, or sorry, go back one to Q4 2025. If you were long into that, ouch, you got cooked.
Yep.
Those contracts went to zero overnight. If you were long into that. So just know, again, earnings equals lottery. There are scratch-off tickets with a better hit rate. There's not. Earnings is basically 50-50, right or wrong. It's not quite. It's not
yeah,
quite a
I
scratch ticket.
if you're playing earnings, like you said, you have to be comfortable losing 100% of what you put in. So just when you
And
put it in,
Intel has
it's gone.
consistently been missing, dude. My God.
Yeah,
Look at the one-day move across the last, like, 10. Woo!
Yeah,
Like I said, Intel's been getting a little bit of bullish talk in the media after a couple years of getting clowned on. So I am curious, because we have been seeing some pretty bullish flow on Intel for the last month or so, I'd say. So we'll see. I'm not playing it,
yeah,
personally.
that thing can fly. I mean, 7-8% in a day. So it's just, man, if
Your
that
mileage
didn't
may vary
overlap
type
earnings,
shit.
yeah, exactly.
It is curious seeing a lot of pre-earnings bullish flow, though.
But those hood calls
Keep
come
an eye
in.
on it.
These
Man.
don't overlap earnings.
Fuck you, Hood.
We do have someone asking about QQQ
Oh, yeah, let's do that
610 put, actually.
Let's do that one.
I don't know what day they did not specify.
I will say ETF flow gets messy, but we can look at the specific contract. QQQ, there's 582s there. He said 610. What's that
610.
expiration date, homie?
They didn't say.
Well, you ask them, Tucker. That's what your job
makes sense.
Well, I can look at these 515, 582 puts here while we wait for an answer. I tend to kind of keep things under 10% multi-leg. It's probably in this little chunk there. I'll make that assumption. 5% out of the money, 32 days. Again, a lot of headline risk going on now too, so you're kind of tied into headlines right now. But just kind of looking at that flow again. Another one not super clear there. I mean, you get your IV drop there. They are filling a cent below the ask. Not big enough size for me to really even kind of value something like
really
that.
I mean, fat shit on ETF contracts,
like,
because there's so
like this,
much
like
volume.
47,000 contracts, like something
a little
that
bit more
sticks
interesting. ETFs have extremely high volume. They have really good liquidity. Like you're gonna look at 1 cent bid asks on slightly out of the money stuff, like that 582 right there that we just looked at on QQQ. You know, it's out there. That's pretty far out the money, and even then, it only had a couple cents of the bid-ask spread wide. So you got a lot of liquidity on ETFs, but you also have the volume that comes with it. It makes it harder to read, especially if you look at it from a bird's eye view. Like if you go to QQQ's overview page and you look at those highest chains by volume like we do with individual names,
all 0 DTs.
You're not going to get anything out of that, dude. 166,000 volume, 50-50 split bid ask. Like you're not going to garner any information from those highest chains like you can from
there's
individual
nothing
names.
in here. Absolutely nothing. And even just kind of like doing that, like if you wanted to kind of filter down, I mean, that's when you come in here and you start kind of applying your filters. Like, we want something 60% ask side or bid side. Like at least you wipe out a lot of that contracts and take off our multi-legs. Let's just see, multi-leg, below 20%. I don't want in the super deep in the money. I usually don't go anything more. Jeez.
And something I've noticed just scalping, because when we were doing the small options port that I was scalping, the same Periscope strategy just with options on a small port, it was pretty hard, I'll say. It was pretty difficult. You had to be okay with losing, and we started with 500. I think we took it to pretty close to 4,000 before we split it between futures, and then ultimately took it out of the broker, paid taxes on it, and sitting and waiting now for reasons that I won't bitch about right now. But I want to. Oh.
Yeah,
Don't use Webull futures. Use them for options. They're super chill for options. Not great for futures for reasons. But I've noticed like near the money, at the money contracts tend to give a better idea toward momentum or reversals for ETF flow like this than out of the money stuff. Because if you see really far out the money stuff and it's 0 day, the odds of it hitting even like 5% move pretty low. But if you start seeing a bunch of shit that's right at the money, that's very clearly one direction, that might be a little bit more of a tell. But short-dated stuff that's really out of the money on ETFs like QQQ on SPY, I'm less interested in. I like seeing at the money, big-ass orders that are clean fills for 0 day stuff.
Yeah, very, very picky on the ETF flow. Very, very picky on something like that.
And it's hard to be. There's just so damn much of it.
Yeah, I mean, you get, I mean, like, I know there's plenty of times that you've seen those big SPY whales that are like 40, 50 days out. It's like 9,000 contracts. Like, something like that you can easily track. Like, this stuff, you're not going to be able to track what's going on in here, especially those short-dated contracts. I mean, there's just so many contracts changing hands. It's not the best to kind of trail something like that. And I wouldn't kind of just do, oh, now you got Intel puts coming in.
Pop those bad boys open.
Yeah,
Those are pretty clean ask side. Let's see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Wait, was the size the same on those? No, I'm stupid. The volume was similar. It's the same contract.
I'm going to say a whole bunch of nothing on this one until I see that open interest tomorrow. Yeah, just a lot of kind of ask side hits. And I mean, candles bigger than the others. Same size. I mean,
could be buying
too
the
much
dip from the original order. Hard to tell.
Little higher multi-leg percent too. Start. I wonder if we can just find what's multi-leg in here.
Sorry, it is at the money.
Yeah, a lot of headline risk going on too. So I mean, you don't know what's going to be a hedge, what's not going to be a hedge.
That's kind of a given these days, though. And I think it will be for a couple more years.
Yeah.
If you guys were trading during the first Trump admin, it was similar, but the volatility was a little less. Plus, there were other factors, too. I mean, you had COVID.
So, yeah, your Intel is part of a big multi-leg trade here, too, and it's... If you want to do it, Nick, you can do it, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. Perfect. Nope. That's the answer I like.
There's not even any clean fills on either leg of it, either.
No.
That
so yeah, those Intels, again, just that's context and looking at the flow. Don't just assume because it's at the ask it's an automatic buy, and just because it's at the bid don't assume it's an automatic sell. Do your due diligence. Look at the flow. Like it's right here. Like it's a click and it took me 2 minutes to look through that. Again, if you're newer, it might take you a little bit, but screen time and you're teaching yourself. That's the biggest thing you can do. These SNDK puts might be kind of interesting, though.
For basics, unusualwhales.com/information. There are a shitload of articles in there from beginner to intermediate. Yours truly wrote most of them, so feel free to tag me on Twitter at NicholasFNS with any general questions. Happy to help always. That's what you got us here for. All right, let's do another wave of flow requests here. If you guys have a ticker or a specific contract you want to break down on before we get the hell out of here, drop that shit in.
Not a flow request, but Aaron on the X chat asked, can you see SPX Gex on Unusual Whales?
Yeah. That's what we're scalping all morning. That is Periscope. This bad boy right here. and you can filter it between any expiration you want. I tend to flip between all and 0 day, and then as we get closer to the end of the day, I like to see tomorrow's positioning as well, 1 day. This updates every 10 minutes with plans to shorten that, but it is all confirmed market maker positioning, gamma exposure here. There's also a full dedicated page to gamma, delta, charm across the board, across expirations, across strikes. Yeah, we got all of that. And we're done scalping for the day today, but we did take several in the morning. All of those I take using Periscope for context, that gamma exposure for context. I do trade the micro NASDAQ rather than the micro ES for futures scalping, but ultimately I am trading SPX. Positioning for that, they tend to move together. Price action patterns play the same. I just play a different instrument than we look at, and it's the same shit. But yes, we do have that. Periscope is included in the retail pro tier, Mark? The higher tier for retail that isn't a professional account. Professional separate. If you're not a professional, you don't have to worry about that. It's kind of irrelevant. But the retail pro is where you get Periscope included. I will not trade without it.
Aaron also asks, what about the order flow? I'm interested.
What do you mean by order flow? Do you mean like options flow?
Option
all the options
flow.
orders? Every option that transacts will show up in the feed, but you're not going to see them all because you will use filters to filter out the noise. If you head over to the Unusual Whales YouTube and hit the education tab as well, there's breakdowns of the different features there, as well as site guides. But yeah, we'll have more SPX stuff coming in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. I'm pretty excited for it because my entire scalping strategy hinges on gamma exposure and price action. So Periscope is where I live. Getting a pop and call premiums again. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I sat out because, Anthony, I probably would have been trying to top tick this repeatedly. They keep rejecting that 68.30, and it is funny that we're at 68.30 because where did I say that positioning moved from 68.15? 68.30, baby.
Got it right on there.
Oh,
you got
I'm
some
on the
FSLR
1 day. There
cards.
we go.
And it's kind of
this makes more sense.
like, you can just kind of like see setups too, and you just kind of like, you get that intuition. Like, again, that comes with screen time. Like, you're just like, I'm not gonna try to short this. I'm not gonna try. Like, it's just a lot of screen time.
They're doing a nice range here between 68.30 and 68.15. But like I said, they moved that positioning up. Look at like way down here at 67.40 area. We had some buildup going. Oops, I'm stupid as shit. There we go. I wanted to go back in time, not back in days. But you could see down here we had buildup happening below us in the morning at 67.45. We even talked about it being pretty crazy out there. Obviously never got down there. They bounced at 16.790, which is that first line in the sand we mentioned at the top of the show. And noted as time was going on, we were getting our interval updates here. All of that positive gamma below us. See how it's building up higher and higher and higher? This is why I never got back into that short. They were not showing me in any stretch of the imagination that they were setting up lower. They've still been setting up higher. We do see this falling off a bit at 68.40 and above while we're building right in this range. I wouldn't be surprised if we get pinned between 68.20-ish and 6800 in the close because a lot of that positioning up above has fallen off as well. But, I mean, just look at this. None of that positive gamma positioning we had in the morning when we were scalping short is there anymore. They moved their positioning up, and price went with it. So this is why I really look at this. Even if I'm scalping just a quick little pullback, which I do, in and out in 10 seconds or so on the NQ, I keep this open always. Because if I had tried staying in this short we took at the open, we had a really nice short right after the open. If I had stayed in that, boy, would I be negative right now. Just blown open. I will not scalp without Periscope ever again.
And even if you're doing the 0 DTEs, I mean, you're getting chopped up in this price action too.
For sure.
Like, we could drop into close, but you're getting chopped up on the 0 DTEs. I mean,
Tucker, for that homie that was asking about gamma, can you drop that 8-minute Periscope video again? The problem with XChat Again, there's a lot of problems with Twitter streaming. It is what it is. Hopefully it gets updated like you promised 3 years ago, but we'll see.
You talking about the SPX Gex guy?
Yeah.
I already did that actually. I'm way ahead of you.
Nice. Because the problem with the Twitter stream is on mobile, the chat doesn't stay. It disappears after a few seconds.
Yeah.
It stays on desktop, but if you're watching on mobile, none of those comments stay, which doesn't really make sense. But hey, I didn't make the fucking app, so what do I know?
You know, you could maybe if you made the app, then you know.
Hey, you got me there, man.
Yeah, like
go
make your own.
Hey, we've
Twitter
got some coinciding flow for that Hood bull call you saw. On a different name on Wolf, another stock that I owned for less than $1 and then sold for like 30 cents gain per share. Fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. 2,000% above my entry, and I don't have a single share of it. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Let's take a peek at the Wolf. I think you asked me to look at the Wolf, and we just kind of, did our normal thing, just off.
Tend to do that, yeah.
But yeah, no.
We get distracted.
These look good.
Yeah,
these look pretty good.
They're kind of in line with the Hood
earnings.
you saw. They're in the same sector in a way. I know Robinhood's obviously
Feels
different,
fast.
but my initial premise with Hood when I called that bastard out at $11 per share and didn't even play it was that they owned a metric fuckload of Bitcoin before the Bitcoin halving, and I was like, statistically, Bitcoin's going to have a pretty big jump within a year of the halving because that's what it's done with a diminishing return ever since its inception. And I was like, hey, Hood has all of this Bitcoin. They're not really reporting in earnings yet, y'all. And then they did. And Bitcoin was trading at like 110,000 at the time. And Hood cracked what? Like some crazy ass 140 or something per share from there. Oh my god. I was in Wolf on someone else's idea. He goes by Efficient Enzyme on Twitter. He called Wolf out. I got in at 97 cents per share. I sold it at $1.20 per share. And you can see where all of that happened without me. Holy shit, bro. Like, that just hurts the soul. Very slowly move your cursor to the left. And I'll tell you when to stop. Now, just keep going left. Keep going left. I'm just going to point out where I called Hood. And then you guys can make fun of me while I cry. A little more. A little more. A little more. There you go. Nope, too far. Too far. Way too far. A little more. Little more. Go over toward that January 24 range. You see I'm gonna kick him in the nuts.
Oh, there we go. There we go. I was like January 24. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude?
It was January 24 where I called it out, and just steady grind straight the fuck up. Ever since I said it, it was right after that pullback from December, and there it goes, and I cried. My buddy Nate played it, and he still makes fun of me. Still makes fun of me, as he should, because that was the ball drop. But yeah, those Wolf, those are pretty clean. Ask side, they coincide with the bullish flow we saw on Hood earlier. So for the homie who asked about Ethereum at the top of the show, I do not trade crypto itself, but I do keep an eye on crypto names like Wolf, Hood, Mara. They tend to be pretty telling. Worth keeping an eye on. But I dropped the ball on every single one a year or 2 years ago. Whoops.
You're giving money out to people.
Yeah.
You're giving out free
All right.
flow.
If we don't have any last second requests, we might call this a 2.5-hour show. And I got a couple videos to edit and some more show prep to do because we're gonna spice the show up and make it a little bit longer, I think, for next week and moving forward.
This is the open interest stuff will be fun though. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to have a nice little read. It won't be as early as it comes out. Like, I'm not gonna get on at 5 a.m. I don't know about you. I ain't doing all that.
Not gonna be me. No.
But we'll start doing the show not Wednesday, but next Monday. We'll be starting a little earlier. Call it half hour before open instead of 5 minutes. So have a little bit of time to do some preview. Look at some of the futures movement in the overnight session. Look at some open interest changes. Let me get us all three on. Oh, Tucker's just a black square. There he is. He's
Tucker's
awake.
ready for a nap.
Did I do something wrong?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're expelled. Got him. Got him. All right, everybody. I hope you had a good time today. I did. We hit some pretty good scalps in the morning. I'm glad we sat out after that because, like I said, I would have been trying to top tick that repeatedly, and death by 1,000 paper cuts type situation would have ensued. So we're ending the day green there. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 contracts to follow up on Wednesday. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the same as 6. you can see why I'm the guy on the camera and doing interviews, because math, numbers, and coding are not something I'm able to do. With that said, we're going to get the hell out of here. We'll see you guys Wednesday morning, same place, same time, a little bit before market open, and then starting on Monday, we'll be starting at 9 Eastern instead of 9:30. Thanks for coming, everybody. Catch you guys Wednesday morning.
See ya.
Enjoy your day.